Okay, nako magandang gabi ho sa inyong lahat. Welcome ho sa ating program. Ako po si Sunny Laragan dito po sa Legal Advice Corner. Siyempre, no, kasama ho natin ang ating pinakamamahal no, tuwing Tuesday ng gabi ho. Walang iba, katabi ko na ho. Ayan na ho, no? Baliktad. Ito.
Ano
Ayan
ka
na ho.
na?
Ayan na. Mga kaibigan, ang ating pinakamamahal, no? Siya ho ay, siyempre, batang-batang abogada ho, no? At, well, head ng litigation. At partner na ho ng Deo Volentes Solicitors, DV Solicitors. Walang iba kundi, ayan, nakikita na ho nyo, ang brains and beauty and very young looking na abogada ho ng bayan, no, ng buong United Kingdom, official yan. Ito po, siyempre, si Attorney Dana Quito. Attorney, magandang gabi sa iyo.
Magandang gabi, Mr. Laragan. Magandang gabi sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin, Europe, Pilipinas, who are replaying this tomorrow as well. It is a fairly eventful week for us in the UK. I don't
Oh,
know with you, Mr. Laragan, we're preparing for lockdown number two coming this
yes.
Thursday. Yeah, so
Oo.
I just want to say I hope everyone's okay and keeping safe and here we go again. Ito na naman tayo sa lockdown naman. I don't know if you're changing the time slot ngayon kasi dati may lockdown time slot tayo and we got the pleasure of a lot of people's company in August in ano, so I'm not sure kung ano,
Mm.
ano, but yeah, it's a and the U.S. mga kababayan sa U.S. is awaiting elections results as well, so fairly eventful
Kailan ba
day.
elections? Di ba?
Today,
Bukas ang elections, di ba?
today, today po, today,
Today's the
yeah,
elections. Ayun. Oh, so we're
and,
going to find out tomorrow, November 4, the results, no?
yeah,
November
the
sa
results are
presidential elections.
coming out.
Yeah, you. So kumusta? How did you take this? Now that we are having a lockdown in a way, parang second lockdown na natin, no? How did you
Lockdown number.
when you heard about the news, no? Anong naging reaction mo?
I'll be very honest, yung lockdown, the news about lockdown number two has been brewing for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
We speculated it's gonna happen during half term to
Mm-hmm.
allow parang circuit breaker, katulad ng Wales, a 2 week circuit breaker. So we were following the news very, very closely. Kaya nga, I always give a tally every day. Tinitingnan ko yung tally every Tuesday kung ano
Oo.
nangyayari. It didn't come as a complete surprise, but it's still quite a news kasi fairly a big news because I think medyo na ano ata sila may nag-leak ata ng announcement ng gobyerno. That's the reason why they were forced to do it on a Saturday, which is unusual for the prime minister. And you can see na parang may tension kung ano yung dapat sabihin. Hindi nga sila mag-agree kung anong oras nila i-announce. So it was
Yeah.
very interesting for us. We had to do a meeting straight away the next day. Okay naman,
What do you mean?
at the
Next
end of
day,
the
what
day,
Sunday? Kayo? You had a meeting Sunday? All right, really, yeah?
but it's at the end of the day, we have to look after each other. Safety
Mm.
first. First of all, we
Yes.
have to do our part sa community natin. Sabi mo nga, we can only really properly battle this out. Kaya nga, ang only chance to properly respond to this is tayong lahat magtutulungan and to be reminded na kung ano yung gagawin mo, it's gonna be transmitted. You're exposing not just yourself, but a lot of people as well. So, yun talaga, no man is an island na talagang makikita mo sa contact tracing na hindi talaga totoo yun. Na hindi na ano talaga na no man is an island. So, you get very much reminded about that. Yung responsibility mo as a person, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. So, and this is what I'm going to talk about today is the first question that a lot of people come Monday morning, and
Mm.
daming telephone calls, what's happening with the legal sector? So anong nangyayari? Anong mangyayari during lockdown? So I'm gonna go through that in my session natin today. Happy Tuesday, by the way, to everyone, even though
Yes, oo nga pala. Oh, happy Tuesday. Oo nga, oo.
yes. So
Pero teka muna,
I'm gonna
going back, ano, Pero okay, the past pumapasok ka naman itong nakaraan before this well, lockdown or last week or the past few weeks, you were going to the office, nagwo-work kayo, nakikita-kita pa rin kayo.
Yes.
Except that
For
you're may
me,
distance lang kayo.
yeah, may very much safety distance. Really, precautions are have been tightened for the last since nung tumataas yung cases, nag-tighten talaga
Uh-huh.
yung mga precautions. I'm particularly yung case-to-case basis, yung the cases that I deal with. So I deal with
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable people and also yung mga domestic violence victims. So
Mm-hmm.
can be classed as essential workers. Also, sobrang lapit lang ng commute ko. I have a 30-second commute. So I'm not actually, kung titingnan mo, you have to look at yung certain circumstances mo if you are exposing a lot of people with your travel, with your commute. So that's one of the reasons why I carried on working sa office. But we are looking in sabi namin, everyone's being asked to do their part in terms of keeping the infection rate down. However, you will see from my update today, my FAQs answers, frequently asked questions, and the answers, that
Mm-hmm.
the guidance from the government is safely business as usual as much as we can, but remotely. Do it remotely. So you will see from compared. You can see it's very interesting compared to lockdown number one, which is much restrictive siya.
Mm-hmm.
Also, uh, the schools were closed that time, so that's a massive change here. The schools are remaining open. Meron talagang strong indication from the government about kung ano yung mangyayari sa legal sector. I mean, there are certain differences from lockdown number one to lockdown number two, which to summarize is as safe as you can. Obviously, safety first, but a lot of things, not business as usual, but carrying on as not. It would probably be not right to say business as usual, but more on carry on as safely as we can. With a view na let's keep this COVID infection rate down. So that's I'm going to answer questions. I'm going to give FAQs on each department kung ano yung sinabi nila na. Ito yung parati namin, ito the
Mm-hmm.
last 2 days, parating tinatanong sa amin ng mga kliyente. So I'm hoping to give information hindi lang sa mga clients namin, but sa mga kababayan natin. If it applies to you, then hopefully this can answer the question as well.
Sige, go, go, go. Okay.
Go,
So,
go na. So the main question that tinatanong, are you still open? We are open. Most of firms are actually open. Hindi lang kami. Nakita ko din yung mga other firms around us. They are remaining open. Obviously, kung may abogado kayo, do call them for your for particular updates ng opening hours nila. Sa amin, suspended ang face-to-face meetings. I think a lot of firms are doing the same. However, you can still call us by telephone, by Zoom, by email, which is a lot safer. If you need to drop off documents, minsan talagang ganon, there is a protocol of doing it as safely as you can. Obviously, COVID compliant. Yung building namin is not, we don't, it would have to be outside the building. Again, if you have other solicitors, you have to ask them, but the thing is that you have to take every safety measures as possible para magawa yung kailangan natin gawin. So we go department by department. Ang unang-unang tinatanong, one of the busiest department these days, November, is property or conveyancing. Ang dami mga kababayan siguro natin in the middle of a sale, of a purchase of a property na talagang oh my God, magla-lockdown na, anong mangyayari sa transaction ko. It is quite clear, I think, sa yung ministry, yung government official, the minister for housing, sinabi niya the housing market is open. Bukas pa rin. Unlike the first lockdown, it closed down for a little while. This time, as per the current guidelines, the housing market is open, which means pwede kang mag-view ng bahay, you can book moving companies, but do so well in advance. Talagang you have to be organized. And tradespeople can enter your property. Obviously, kailangan na i-follow natin yung mga COVID measures, pandemic measures. You have to be COVID compliant. But again, the message is this: the housing market is open. Um, they can, if you haven't advertised your home yet for sale, kailangan ko ata i-advertise yung, you were looking to put it for sale, you can still do that, but you have to contact the estate agents. May additional precaution lang sila to protect you, to protect your family, and any possible people any possible viewers who you might be showing your home. So pwede pa rin mangyari. It's just we just have to be a bit more organized, and you have to call them in advance and to see what their certain requirements are. If you need a survey as well, which kailangan pag bumibili or bumibili ka ng bahay, again, the housing market is open. It means that all parts, yung mga moving parts ng transaction nyo, it is possible. But again, you have to call well in advance. Mas kailangan lang mas tayo, mas organized tayo. You have to know the requirements. You have to be able to follow these procedures in a COVID compliant way. So it means siguro mas advanced lang yung pag-book natin ng mga tao na kailangan natin in order to implement yung pag-advertise natin ng sale ng property natin. Also, now in terms of my department, family and litigation, the first thing that people would call is if you have a hearing that is listed, whether remote or face-to-face, the guidance from the government as well as the Law Society is that the courts will continue to operate throughout the lockdown period. They are exempt from lockdown measures, although COVID compliant pa rin dapat lahat tayo. However, they will carry on with those listings. In reality, actually, there may be, which kahit before COVID pa, you still have to get updates kung tuloy ba hindi. Sometimes, there are extenuating circumstances, extraordinary circumstances na hindi tuloy. But the courts are saying, we want to push forward. We want to push forward. Lawyers who are attending court are actually exempt. They can travel to court. They hindi sila essential worker. They're classed as essential worker. So if you've got a hearing booked in the next 4 weeks, please by all means call your solicitor. Tawagan nyo if it's going ahead. But the starting point of the court is that bukas tayo. Bukas pa rin tayo. Maybe remote working ang mangyayari, or maybe hybrid. May hybrid na nangyayari ngayon na yung ibang participants nasa korte, yung iba nasa telepono or Skype meeting. I had a remote hearing earlier, so it is carrying on as usual, although hindi pa naman lockdown ngayon, but I too have hearings during the lockdown period, and at the moment, still carrying on as usual. Now, this is for families with families na separated, who may be yung mom and dad, di na sila together, and they have a child or children, and just like the lockdown number 1, tinatanong, can we move kids from one household to another? Straightforward answer is yes. Sinabi pa rin ni Prime Minister Boris, last Saturday, he confirmed that in his speech, and it's confirmed in the guidance as well, that children who live between two households can be moved from one household to another so that they can have proper contact with their parents. However, babalik tayo, parati nating sinasabi, the paramount consideration is still the best interest of the children. So hindi naman perfect yung sitwasyon all the time. So if ever there is a doubt or may disagreement in terms of that, yung interpretation nyo, whether you say, oh, hindi ganun kasi, etc. Always remember this, the paramount consideration, hindi yung preference mo, hindi yung preference ng ex mo, hindi kung ano yung mas madali or whatever. Really, the paramount consideration is what is best for your children. And after the court said, after na lockdown na to, kung hindi ka ganun ka-cooperative, if you've been obstructive, the court will audit yung conduct na yan. So, after this, pwede mong erase in certain hearing as well and say, look, this other parent, hindi siya ganun ka reasonable, and that's not good for the child. Hindi niya pinapromote yung contact. All in all, that can bite you back. So, be reasonable and remember that paramount consideration. Now, one of the most probably biggest update ever in English law and will signing started back in September. And tamang-tama ngayong lockdown, I think it's being more pertinent now. Dati, kailangan face-to-face ang pag-sign ng will. And you have to get everyone together, kailangan makita lahat. That has been a problem nung first lockdown because hindi updated yung law natin. They passed a certain regulation after the first lockdown or somewhere around that time. And ngayon, pwede mo nang ma-video witness yung will mo. So we've got actually a much more comprehensive guidance about that. I don't do will, so I can only give you your general point about it. But this is one of the most pertinent things that I can give you as guidance. Na pwede mo nang mag-video witness lang yung will. You don't necessarily need to turn up at a solicitor's firm to witness it, or you don't necessarily have to witness. You don't necessarily need to have your witness to be there for you. So that's one. That's for wills and probate. That's yung pinaka parating tinatanong ngayong lockdown number 2. I'm going to brush very quickly. I know yung si Attorney Lira will probably give more of this. Pretty much the same. I think immigration as well. The government guidance says still relevant authorities are operational, however, working remotely. So I'll leave that with her, but I'm just going to give that very, very quick guidance. So as you can see from what I said in the last 5 to 10 minutes, the gist is that we are trying as safely as we can do so to carry on dito sa legal sector. So yun ang guidance from the government. Marami ng backlog yung court hearings. You probably are part of court proceedings at the moment. You've heard of marami yung mga na-pause na proceedings. But now, really, the intention is do it as safely as you can. Meron na tayong measures, precautionary measures. Meron remote working system is a bit better this time. May extra legislation na tayo to allow for this digital alternative to happen. So if you want to know more about this, it's in our website as well. And it will be in my Facebook, social media. So do check it out for more COVID FAQs, frequently asked questions.
Nawala audio ko. Wow! Okay, madami tayong natutunan today, no? Yung mga FAQs, no? Ayan. Okay, teka muna. Bago tayo magtanong-tanong, bago natin ating mga kababayan yung mga tanong-tanong, let's make way for some greetings dito, no? Attorney, pabatiin natin. Siyempre, yung mga yan, nakaabang na eh. Pag alam nilang nandiyan tayo, mabati na kagad. Okay, eto, si Edgar Duay, for the first time, napaaga yata siya ngayon, no?
Aga si Edgar.
Oo, napaaga si Edgar. Asa na ba yung kanyang sandali, ha? Ilalabas lang natin yung kay Edgar Dua. Ito, sabi ni Edgar, ano ba? Cold gear. Teka na, malayo yan, ha? Ito. Teka muna. Asa na ba yung kay Edgar? Kanina, teka muna, attorney, ha? Aayusin lang natin dahil andyan eh. Ito na. Ayan, Edgar Dua. Hello. Ayan. Tapos, binibiti niya. Parang isang sentence yata, isa-isahin niya, no? Hello everyone, sabi niya. Tapos
Hello,
good
Edward.
Oo nga, kaya nga eh. Good evening, Sunny and Attorney DQ. Ayan.
Good
Okay.
evening.
Tapos si Cora Carsola, si Ma'am Cora to, ito yung ating, uy, Damer, pagka laging andyan si Ma'am Cora, no? Yung ating grade school
Yeah,
teacher yan sa aming school sa Metro Manila, no? Si
as a
Ma'am
rainy day.
Cora Carsola. Good evening, Ma'am Cora, ha? Good evening, good evening. You take care, nako. Mahal na mahal natin yan
Yeah,
dahil
thank you po
siyempre,
dyan.
teacher natin yan, no? Sabi ni May Tigbaw Vargas, good evening, Sir Sunny Laragan, Attorney Dana, and to all watching your program, watching from Exeter, Devon. Happy Tuesday. Ayun.
Happy
Kita mo nga naman, no?
Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Ayan.
May
Si Emeline Rafael, ayan. Pakibasa ng attorney. Ikaw na magbasa kay
good evening,
Emeline Rafael.
Sunny and Attorney Donna. Happy Tuesday to all. Emmeline, good evening. Happy Tuesday then, sir. Looking great.
Mm.
Well, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, looking great, sabi niya.
But
Ito, pakibasa
I'm
to. Nababasa mo ba yan?
Apa. It's Emilet Colmes. Hello, Sir Sonny and Attorney Donna, listening from Cornwall. Emmeline, good evening. Ganda
Ayun.
sa
Hello, hello,
Cornwall.
hello. Ayan,
Ganda dyan sa
nag-check
inyo.
in from Cornwall. Okay.
Plasto. Yun. Good evening, Sonny and Attorney Donna, watching from Plasto. Happy Tuesday to all. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, if it's Plaisto or Plasto, but good evening,
Oo nga eh.
Juliet.
Oo nga, Plaisto ba? Plasto? Hindi ko alam
Plaisto
kung
ba
ano.
yan? I don't know.
Oo,
I'm so
oo.
sorry.
Oy,
Butchered your
meron nga na yan, may kakilala yan, taga France, ang pangalan niya Yasmin de la Peña. Siya ang nag-introduce na manood sa ating sa station natin nung Sabado Panalo. Nanalo ng 3,000 pesos para sa kanyang family. Si Yasmin, hindi itong si Juliet.
Hindi si
Oo, yes.
Juliet. Yasmin,
Ito,
congratulations.
ito, medyo British to. Briton is watching
Phil
us right
Compton.
now.
Hello,
Yeah.
mate.
Hello, Phil Compton, ha? Hello, Phil
Sorry.
Compton. Ayan.
Hi, Mr. Compton.
Ayan, Lita Corpus, sabi niya. Ano yan?
Hello, Sir Sonny, watching from Warrington in Donna Quinto. Keep safe. Lita, good
Ba?
evening. Warrington is quite good. Yeah,
No,
taas po ba
oh,
yan?
North
The
and
North?
South. Ha?
North po yan. North po yan,
Ang
ano?
Warring,
Yeah.
have you been to Warrington?
I haven't been. I haven't been.
I've been to
Sorry, I haven't.
Warrington a lot of times, a lot of
Oh,
times, no.
okay.
Kabisado ko 'yan. Taga diyan si ano, yung sino ba yung singer na who was part of Atomic Kitten, yung marami nang nag-asawa, lagi siyang lasing o lagi siyang drugs, naka-drugs pero oo, very malakas siya sa commercials dati. I forgot her name.
Okay.
Oo. Anyway, so ayan, ito, medyo may magandang
Lita, good
pagbati
evening.
dito. Ayan. Oo nga.
Ayun, new
Oo,
bate
thank
ang
you.
new
Hindi,
hairstyle. Ganaman
tina,
eh.
tina, tinali ko lang dahil nahihirapan ako dahil nahihirapan lang ako. Thank you, Emily,
Bago
ha.
din yung
Ayan.
AirPods, ha? Yung AirPods
Oo,
ganda
may
eh.
AirPods. Oh, naka-AirPods tayo. Ayan, yun ang ating, it helps, no, so I can move around. Okay,
Yeah.
sabi ni Nancy Amores Nicole, hello to you, Attorney Dana and Sunny from Scotland. Teka muna, may Warrington, may Devon, may kung saan-saan na tayo, no? Exeter,
Scotland.
lahat na, no? Plasto, halo-halo na, no? Which is good. Thank you very much for checking in and
Scotland.
telling us where you guys are from, no? Oh, ito pa.
That's very
Ito
good.
pa, Attorney. O yan, basahin mo taga saan yan.
Oh, Hertfordshire! Good evening, watching from Hertfordshire.
Ayan,
Hello!
oh, ang ganda ng name
17
niya. Hindi ko
years
mabasa.
ago. Hertfordshire,
Sa'yo
yeah.
ba yan? Hertfordshire? Malapit sa'yo?
Oh, 13 years
Yahilira,
ago.
Payuma, Pilipina to, Zorilla, Pilipina,
Ayun.
no? Oo.
Oo nga, parang, kailangan
At,
ba nating
gusto mo i-figure
na-speak?
out kung ano yun? Baliktad ba yan? Parang ano yan?
Yahil, din eh.
Grag, Grace, Grace to, Grace. Grace,
Grace. Sorry,
Payumo.
Grace.
Oo. Hindi, parang Grace
Har,
kasi
har,
Ekarg eh. Ekarg would be Grace, di ba? More or less. Ekarg
yeah, that's
would be
right.
Grace.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Harley Lahay. Haba naman. Oh, so Grace, good
St.
evening.
Albans ako
Oy,
dati. St. Albans ako, Grace. I was in St. Albans
okay.
for, I think, 11 years. So, tagal ko
Oh,
din sa
right.
Hertfordshire. So, maano yung puso ko sa Hertfordshire. Tagal ko na hindi nakabalik din. Yeah.
Ang St.
You want
Albans, ano yan? It's a part of Hertfordshire, no? Yung
Apa,
Hertfordshire
apa.
part of it, St. Albans. Okay, Joel
Yeah.
Alcazar, nice to see you, Sir Sunny from Vancouver. Anong Vancouver?
Hi,
To
Joe.
Vancouver,
Hello.
Canada?
Canada?
Sa Canada ba
Ano,
yan?
Vancouver sa
Oo.
UK. Galing
Meron
ah.
ba Vancouver sa
Vancouver.
UK? Hindi ko alam. Meron ba
Wala
sa
pa.
UK? May Vancouver? Ah, okay.
Wala
All
pa.
right.
Galing.
Edgardo, ito si Edgardo, yung ating paboritong mahilig sa Tuesday, no?
Oo.
Happy
Mahilig
evening, Kuya Sunny and Attorney Dana. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday din sa'yo, no?
Happy Tuesday.
Ayan.
Sabi ni Ed sa akin, Mr. Sunny, na ano daw kahapon, I think the
Oh,
other day he attended some sort of ano ba, Halloween party. Kaya yung si Jack Sparrow yung ano niya eh, yung kanyang profile picture. Dun
wow.
yung costume niya. It's a brilliant choice.
Oo.
So happy Tuesday, Ed. It's very, very nice to see
Happy,
you.
yes, happy Tuesday, Ed, no? At siya talagang, kumbaga, he lets his hair down pagka sa atin, no? Talagang nakakatuwa, no?
Nakakatawa.
Okay, si Idel Loner
Wala,
naman, sabi ni
Ed.
Idel, taga saan daw siya? Hello, good evening po, Sir Sunny and Attorney Dana. Safe, ano yan? Safe to all from sabi yan, Shrewsbury. Saan yan?
Shrewsbury.
Saan ba yan? Sa
Uh,
North ba yan?
so,
O
it's
South?
north ata, north. I'm not sure.
North ba yan?
It doesn't know. North ka ba or south ka? I think I'm not sure actually.
Oo.
But I've heard of it. I've heard of
Okay.
Shrewsbury.
Oo, narinig
I've
ko na
heard
yan
of
eh. Hindi ko alam. Baka ano
Shrewsbury.
to. Malapit sa Wales to, attorney. Hula ko lang parang nasa edge ng England. Either nasa loob ng Wales yan, ng North Wales, or malapit sa North
Ah,
Wales. Hula ko lang. Hula ko lang, eh.
hula. Oh,
Hula ko
tama
lang.
ba hula ni
Hula lang.
Mr. Larada? Well,
Oo.
oh,
Ito, malayo.
Italy. My God.
Oh, Rome.
Layo. Ayun.
Salvador Corazon. Mabuhay, ha.
Fantastic.
Naku, kita mo, palayuan
How do you
yata.
say good
Kung
evening? Good evening
Bon
sa
Bonjo
Italian.
Bon 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 Bonoit? Ewan ko kung paano. Kasi no, I'm just thinking of noche, Bonoit. Kasi
Oh,
kung
noche.
bon tarde, I don't know, bon bon
Buenas
bon
tardes. Not
bon
Spanish.
teka muna. Ang bon ba ano? Are we talking in French?
Let me
Mali
have a
yata,
look.
no?
I want to
Bona
say
sera.
good evening
Bona sera.
Italia.
Oo. Ano
Ayan,
bang good
tingnan
evening
natin.
sa ano? Good
Buenas
evening.
sera. Buenas serata? Buenas sera? Buenas
Bona
sera?
sera. Bona
Buenas
sera.
sera.
Tama ko.
Tama ka.
Oo,
Sorry,
oo,
sir.
bona sera. Hindi
Buenas
ko alam.
sera, Salvador.
Oo, yung mga ano, French. Well, it's very interesting,
Bon.
attorney, na tayo ay natira sa Europe, no? Because it's quite interesting. Different languages, different countries, no? Unlike in America, from Texas, English. Punta ka Chicago, English. Punta ka New York, English. Punta ka ng Oregon, English. Dito, hindi. Punta ka Germany, of course, German. Punta ka ng Norway, Norwegian. So it's quite interesting dito sa ating yung ating nasang
Nakakatawa.
continent tayo, no, sa Europe, no.
This
Although end of
continent.
the January 1, 2020, iba na ho, no? I mean, we're officially out of the EU. At
Okay,
ito,
the European.
transition period to, no? So if you have to do anything, yung may mga companies kayo na kailangan ayusin na ninyo, may tauhan kayong EU nationals, kailangan ayusin na ho ninyo yan. If you're importing or
Yeah,
exporting, kailangan ayusin na ho. Check nyo ho sa go to gov.uk/transition. No, malaking bagay ho yan.
transition.
Okay.
At
Oo.
sana
Ah,
andito pa rin yung mga European viewers natin, pag after ng Brexit, no hard feelings.
oh, syempre. Oo nga. Oo. Hindi, mamimiss natin sila, no? Kakamiss. Although, ito pa rin. Ito walang EU dito sa show natin.
Wala
Sama-sama tayo
dito.
rito. Basta Pinoy,
Walang
wala tayong mga
bawal
Brexit
Brexit.
dito, no? Bawal ang Brexit sa show natin. Si
Bawal
attorney
Brexit.
magagalit pagka nagkaroon ng Brexit sa
Ah,
show. Pagka bumati kayo,
papahanin ko kayo.
oh, Bonacera, yung mga taga-Belgium ng mga fans mo, attorney, syempre,
Oh,
open pa rin yan. Wala. Yung mga taga-Ireland dyan,
yeah.
no? So,
Oh,
welcome pa rin.
it's
Nag-thank you po si pangalan to,
great.
si Grace. Ano first name mo, Grace? But Har Hili gano'n? Har Hili ang hirap kasi
Hard,
binabaliktad ko yung ano eh. Oo, kasi
hard,
payo mo, hindi naman
hard.
niya binago. Yung Zorilla, hindi niya
No,
binago, attorney, no? Oo, pero
no, but
yung Grace
that was
doon, yung
right.
medyo, yung Eckhart Grace yun, no? Oo,
Yeah,
okay.
Eckhart
Oh,
Grace. Ang galing mo Ang galing mo sa mga ganyan Diba? Canada.
ah,
Canada.
baka baliktad ang mata ko kasi, oo, taga-Canada, attorney. Si Joel ang
Hindi,
kasama.
hindi
Nung araw,
Vancouver. Galing
Joel,
galing
nalipat ka na ba? Teka muna, Joel, di ba dito ka sa UK nung araw, Joel? Kung di ako nagkakamali. Tama nga ba? O ikaw ba yung listener ko ng araw
Medyo,
sa Pinoy Radio UK na nagtatago sa ilalim ng table habang nakikinig sa Pinoy Radio sa night jam ko dati? Ikaw ba 'yon? Or lalabas
ah,
ng opisina para manigarilyo kunyari para basta makatawag sa Pinoy Radio yung show ko dati, yung
nakakatawa.
night jam. Oh, meron kasi tayong caller
Nakakatuwa
ng araw,
naman.
attorney, from Canada, tatago siya sa ilalim ng
Hmm,
table niya lang para makipag-usap sa akin sa show nung araw. Or makinig yata o makipag-usap, no? Marami tayong mga
nakakatuwa.
listeners diyan sa ano, sa Canada.
Fan
Okay,
to Canada.
uy, ito,
Ingat well. Ingat kayo dyan. Midlands,
ingat
it's
kayo ha sa
Midlands.
Canada. Oo, pero
Yeah.
baka naman mas malala tayo, attorney, compared to sa kanila. Baka sa kanila wala pang lockdown doon sa Canada, no?
Uh,
Ingat. Ayan,
tayo pa nagsabi
Midlands.
mag-ingat eh. Ano?
Oo, tayo pa. Ingat kayo ha, gano'n. Yung pala, tayo pala yung ano, no? Si Idel, ano kaya si Idel kaya? Delhi ang pangalan niya, no? Ano? Midlands po
Lagi.
eh. When you say Midlands, malaki yung Midlands eh. Para mong sinabi na taga South England ho ako, taga South London. Anong specific
Yeah.
lugar sa Midlands, 'di ba? Kasi
Taga
Midlands
Shrewsbury
would
po.
also be, ha?
Siya po yung taga
Ano?
Shrewsbury. Siya po yung
Shrewsbury. Yung ba sinagot niya?
yan. Yan.
Oo nga pala,
Opo,
sorry.
Midlands
O nga
siya.
pala,
Sa
Midlands
malapit
po.
Birmingham po kayo.
Ayun.
Birmingham?
Ano yan?
Midlands po ba ang Birmingham?
Oh, Birmingham,
Birmingham?
ano, Birmingham, at
Ano?
saka isa pa, yung parang may university, ano yan, attorney, yung University of, merong pangalan ng, ano eh, ng lugar eh. Oh, anyway. Uh, Maski mga Briton,
Leicester?
may hindi Leicester siya, attorney, may ano, university, nakapangalan, meron gym yun, doon kami nagpunta one time, nagkaroon ng parang tournament ng
Talaga?
ng basketball ng mga Pilipino. It will come
Nice.
back, to me, anyway. Uy, good night. Anong good
Good
night
night,
sinasabi ni
Edward.
Edgar Duway? Oh. Gusto
Inaantok
wish to go
ata.
back to Italy and Lake Como. Yung Lake Como siya.
Athlete
Gustong
Como.
gusto talaga niya. Oo. Ah, tapos
Ganda. Hindi pa ako nakapunta na
ay
po
di pa
kayo?
isa ko.
Nakapunta.
Hindi, I wanna drive. Alam mo, one of my wishes, dreams, ano, attorney, makapag-drive ako yung drive lang sa buong Europe. Yung drive lang, ganun.
Ah, that's
Oo, kasi
good.
nag-drive ko lang
Sige.
Spain eh. Oo, ano eh. Basta sama-sama tayo,
We
di
should
ba?
do
Punta tayo, no?
we should do a
Oo,
road trip na ano, na
oo,
Pinoy
road trip
Radio
lang, oo.
Europe edition. Yeah.
Ah,
Matagal na.
may problema lang
Lockdown naman
tayo.
eh.
Ang manubela natin sa kabila, manubela
Kaya,
sa kabila. Pero okay lang, kaya pa naman yan. Medyo makakayanan
kaya
natin.
naman.
Kasi pag when you
Hindi,
drive
hindi.
sa mainland, di ba?
Ayan.
Pero hindi ko pa na-check. I'll have to check din kung how can we drive, di ba? Pagdating ng January 1st, yung mga changes will take effect na, syempre, di ba? Yung pagkuha mo ng a lot of things will happen. Kaya paki-check niyo ho yung gov.uk /transition kung ano na mangyayari sa inyo, kung ano yung mas sitwasyon ninyo, no? Okay. Ito nako, kita mo, sino to? Sabi niya attorney, sino to? Sabi niya hello po from Battersea. Kuya Jay ang pangalan.
Battersea, Kuya
Oh,
Jay. Kuya Jay
Battersea,
from
oo.
Battersea. Hi, Kuya
Ayan naman,
Jay. Hi,
makakilala mo
love.
to. Good evening, Dana.
Oh,
Kumusta kayo? Ayun. Kilala mo ba to? Si
Hindi,
Ronald Flores,
ano
attorney?
natin yan, parati yan dito. Parati si Ronald every
Okay,
Tuesday
okay.
po. Oo. Regular natin yan.
Okay.
Oh.
Ito, regular ba natin to, attorney? Mukhang dinadayo tayo ng buong mundo, ah. Oh,
Norway, galing
oh,
naman. Eret
Norway.
Lira Arere.
At
Parang kirera na naman ata.
baka tere yan. Tere, Leira, o
Oh,
baka
yeah.
tere yan. Herrera, tama ka. Terera, Tere, Leira, Herrera. Watching from Norway. Wow! Grabe naman.
Fantastic.
Talagang, okay na. Ito na. Ayan na, sinagot na. Name for
Name
the
po
three
ng
girls ko. Haley, Short, High, Hillary, ano yan? Lily ba? Lily and Hamlet. Sir Sunny and Dana.
Hamlet.
Oy, thank you, ha?
Yan.
Oo.
Thank you. Sorry
Oo.
sa pag
Thank you, ha?
uh,
Oo, thank you, Grace, ha?
oh,
Oo.
sa
Ba,
Birmingham,
kita mo naman,
Shrewsbury.
meron pa tayo natutunan ngayon, ha?
Nakakatawa.
Oo.
Nakakatawa.
Talaga.
It's really
Yan ba
nice.
talaga?
Charles
Wow. Si
Darwin.
Charles Darwin ang isa ba yung ano ba kay Charles Darwin?
The
Yung men
father
came
of
from animals,
evolution.
from the ape yata, parang gano'n, di ba?
The
Oo,
father of that
si
movie.
Charles Darwin. Ayun, oo. Meron dito,
Ah,
diyan
medyo
yata siya.
nagbaon. Sad
Oh,
ba?
imagine mo 'yan, 'di ba? It's kita mo yung quiz niya, no? Sino ba tong si ano? Si
Ranji?
Andiyan ka ba? Hindi. Hindi si Ranjit, oh, may quiz si Ranjit, 'di ba? The center. Tayong dalawa ba magkasama ng attorney, yung center of England?
Opo, tayong dalawa yun.
Oo,
Tayong
yeah,
dalawa yun.
wala si Ranjit ngayon, parang na ano siya, late siya ngayon. O baka medyo Anyway, attorney, balik na tayo, na, mag-break muna tayo, mag-break lang tayo, no? Ayan, yung mga pagbati nyo, ayan, sige, okay lang, at nakakatuwa ho, we're so happy
Go,
na,
go for it.
bino mo, Norway, Italy, asa mo ba?
Yeah.
Uh, ano ba?
We had
Italy,
Vancouver.
Canada,
Yeah,
Vancouver,
Canada.
Canada, oo. Ano pa ba yung mga
We have
nagparamdam sa atin?
Italy. We had Italy as well. Had Italy
Italy,
po.
oo,
Italy.
Italy. Norway,
And all over the
Italy, ano pa ba
UK.
yung mga all over UK, no? Dahil hiwa-hiwalay, may Scotland pa tayo. Nabati na ba natin si
Scotland, yes.
Nancy Amores Nicole? Oo, si Nicole,
Nancy
teka
and
muna, bati na.
Bonnet.
Oo, Nancy, Plasto, of course, no? Andiyan sila. At, of course, si taga Derby, si ano, no? Si Edgar Duay, Exeter Devon, kumpleto tayo, attorney, no? Cornwall, talaga nga naman, no, iba't ibang lugar. So, thank you very much. No? Mabuhay ho kayo.
Thank
Magbe-break lang ho muna tayo at pagbalik ho natin, syempre, tuloy-tuloy na tayo sa ating program pa, no? Huwag ho kayo alis, no? At kami saglit, no? Lamang at magbabalik ho kami. Saglit po lamang.
May problema ka ba sa landlord mo? Baka iiwi ka na ni kuya. May problema sa mga kapitbahay, sa trabaho. O kaya naman kay mister o kay misis. Away tungkol sa mana, mga may utang, mga aksidente, daing o laban sa ospital or sa NHS. Harassment? O baka naman may stalker ka na gusto mong ireklamo. Punta na sa Divi Solicitors para matulungan ka pagdating sa mga litigations at iba pang mga legal concerns. Divi Solicitors at Mayfair House, 11 Lurk Street, Bedford, MK40 3HZ. Tumawag sa 01234-350-244 or 01234-225-188 o kaya naman mag-email sa d.quinto@dvsolicitors.com. Visit our website at www.dvsolicitors.com. Mula noon hanggang ngayon, serbisyong mapagkakatiwalaan, serbisyong maaasahan pagdating sa inyong mga padalang balikbayan boxes. Dito ka na sa Forex Cargo. Sa presyong kayang-kaya ng bulsa, sigurado ka pa sa inyong padala. Forex Cargo. Dahil kailangan makarating. Call 0208-813-7064. O ano pang inaantay niyo mga kabayan? Tayo na sa Forex Cargo.
Okay, tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating program. Happy Tuesday, as we call this, the Legal Advice Corner on a
Yeah.
Tuesday evening. Ayan, thank you very much kay Edgardo Cagahas dyan, ha? Tama ba yan? Siya yung
Si
nagsabing Happy
Edgardo,
Tuesday, and
yes.
they
Correct.
chose to be
Yeah.
happy by being here with us on a Tuesday. Okay, eto na yung mga tanong, ha? Mga kaibigan, kung may mga tanong kayo, eto na. Bukod sa batian, syempre, we have to learn the laws of the
Mm.
United Kingdom. Meron tayong, hindi naman lahat ng bagay, alam natin, merong mahirap magdunong-dunungan ho. Mas mabuti na yung talaga marunong yung kasama ho natin si attorney. And she spent over more than a decade yata, no? In the study
About
and
10 years
of
now,
law, di
yeah.
ba?
About 10
And the
years.
mastery of
Yeah.
yung legal laws dito sa United Kingdom. At maski ano pa rin, siyempre may kanya-kanyang specialization or specialty yan, no? Bawat, di ba?
Correct.
Merong mahusay sa, parang sa broadcasting yan, may mahusay sa sportscasting, mahina
Mm.
mag-newscaster. May mahusay mag-newscaster, mahirap maggawa ng commercials ng yung mga televisions or radio, no? Kanya-kanyang ano yan eh. Okay. Attorney, sabi mo, ngayon, parang itong katapusan, parang tumataas yung mga, ito, last part, yung mga parang sa pagbili ng bahay, no? Pero ang sabi mo yata, di ba
Yeah.
nabanggit mo, pagka nagsisimula ang taon naman, ang pinakamarami, divorce ba?
Correct. Yes. Correct.
Tama ba yun?
That's
Naalala
true.
ko ba? Tama ba yung nadinig ko sa'yo na
Tama,
pagka
tama po
early
yan.
part
Yes.
of the year, divorce, no? Bakit gano'n? They still try to enjoy themselves pagka Christmas, tapos galit na, o maghihiwalay sila pagka January na, early next year? Bakit gano'n? But before we go into the buying of houses, bakit sa palagay niyo, attorney? Bakit hindi end of the year? Why are you telling us na itong mga house hunting, house buying, house whatever, house moving
Mm.
is happening dito sa latter part of the year. Bakit
Now,
ganun?
yes.
Bakit
That's
first year ang first early the following year ang divorce? Bakit kaya?
Um, rightly, you pointed it out, Mr. Laragan. Normally, ito yung naririnig ko lang, and ito rin yung
Mm,
nakakwento sa akin. It's just,
mm,
if you're having problems na palapit na ng Pasko, normally, lalo na kung may anak, it's always, I want to give them
ah,
one last Christmas together.
ayun.
Normally, yun yun.
Oo.
I want to give them one last Christmas together, one last Christmas as a family. And ang nangyayari, and I'll tell you, ito talaga nasa statistics to, the first working day ng New Year is the the busiest day for family lawyers. Talagang, I've had a not very good um, Christmas. Also, what tends to happen, like any sort of celebration na marami kang kailangan i-arrange. Siyempre may
Mm,
pressure,
mm, mm,
may mga friction. So normally what tends to follow there is mga arguments. So people naturally have a self-reflection coming up to New Year. No, New Year's resolution tayo. So it's a time of self-reflection. Also, it's a natural time ng mga disagreements just because people have not seen each other for many months are having to be in very near proximity for a few days, so may mga natural na reposturing ng mga relationship, and sometimes that's causing yung tension. So a lot of times it really affects yung dynamics ng family, so they come out of the Christmas period actually feeling unhappy or sure about what they feel about the relationship. Some people just want their children to have one last Christmas with the whole family, and that's the reason why they wait. Until the new year. Ang nangyayari, very similarly, this is just my analysis, Mr. Laragan, for the last few months. Imagine mo, the same factors, you're cooped in together. Ganun yung nangyari sa Christmas, di ba? You're cooped in together.
mm,
Yung tao na hindi mo ganun kakasama parate, you have to be with them all the time. Also, mataas ang pressure just because of what's happening in the world. Yun ang nangyayari, yun ang normally nangyayari sa Christmas, higher pressure, higher tension. Ngayon, yun ang nangyayari in a much more prolonged state sa COVID. The same equation equals higher divorces. And ngayon, you're seeing a lot of people saying, I'm fed up. I had a time also when people are back home and we're faced with mortality, nakikita natin na, hi, this is a short life. Anything can happen anytime. People tend to think, ano ba talaga gusto ko sa buhay ko? And then they started feeling, kumbaga, they have to face themselves. They have to face what they want. They have to face their problems head on. And then they start making life-changing decisions for their family, for themselves. So, and that's probably the reason bakit busy ang family law. People suddenly saying, I can't, I can't have any more of this. Or people would say, you know what, I want to see my children. I really want to see my children. I want to do it now. I want to do it properly. Noon, bits and bobs lang ngayon. I want it I want to be there for them, and I want it to be in writing. I want it to be approved by the court. So I think that's what's happening sa mundo ngayon. That's for family law. I'm gonna go back dun sa property. So you're saying, again, babalik na rin natin, bakit busy coming up to the year end? The reason being is wala masyadong nangyayari na viewing sa December dahil busy lahat ng tao. So a lot of people would start their viewings, yung conveyancing process, mga middle of the year to autumn, with the view na they wanna move into their house before Christmas. Yun
Before.
yung
Ayun, oo.
meron talaga, and this, I'll tell you a sweet story. The previous firm, I didn't doing conveyancing. The husband wants to surprise the wife with a new house, and gusto niya for Christmas. That's a present for Christmas. We said hindi kami nag-work Christmas, so they'd have to buy it a few days before Christmas. So it's special. They want to move in. They want to have the house ready for that big celebration per year. And naturally, yung end ng year is yung target natin to achieve things. So they want to do that yung in the mindset ng tao. They want to do that before the end of the year. So yun yung interesting for me. Medyo nerd nga ako, so I like looking at the patterns ng nangyayari. That's definitely what happened sa market.
Tama nga, totoo ka nga, di ba? Parang minsan parang magpapasko, parang ayaw ma-spoil yung Pasko siguro, or yun nga, like giving a final chance, baka sakali, and so you don't want to break up the family siguro, yun iniisip ng isa doon sa, but one or both of them, no? And then eventually, kung baka hindi nag-work out, then it's high time siguro, pag start ng next year, walay na kagad. Oo. Okay,
Iwalay na,
well,
straight away, first Monday.
iwalay na. Oo. Yung sinasabi mo, attorney, tungkol sa mga will signing, no? Dati, ang rule ba, sama-sama lahat? When you say sama-sama lahat, saan ba yan? Doon sa may opisina ng abogado, ng solicitor, doon, magkikita-kita? Because you were mentioning
Yes.
about parang video viewing could you explain this, parang pakipaliwanag nga ng konti?
So let me just get yung FAQ dito para I'll get it properly.
Sabi mo kasi nung September, it started in September, di ba? Sabi mo? So prior to September, everybody had to be around. When you say everybody around, witness, paano nga pala? When you sign a will, ano ba signing ng will? Is it a will signing or is it the declaration of will? Hey, hindi, ito yung mga nilabas nung namatay. Ito yung ba ang ibig mo sabihin ng will signing, or is it
will signing the will?
Signing of the will.
Signing of the will, yeah, signing of the will.
Hindi ba sikreto ba yan? Hindi ba sikreto yung signing of the will, attorney? Hindi ba when somebody does the will, sikreto yan, binibigay niya sa abogado? Why does it have to be?
It needs to be
Hindi ko lang it needs to be witnessed. So kunyari gumawa ako ng will, kailangan kunin ko si Edgar Duway as a witness, ganun? If I did a will, I cannot. Sorry, attorney.
Kung there are rules kung sino yung pwede mong kunin, but you have to have two witnesses para malaman na ikaw talaga yung nag-sign on, so that if there's any challenge kung ano yung state of mind mo, kung may duress ka ba, so you have two witnesses to say, yes, we were there, we saw Sunny signed it, as long as, and this is, don't quote me on this, hindi ko the department, from my understanding is that hindi sila dapat beneficiary, hindi sila dapat mapapamanahan in order to witness, kasi parang conflict of interest yon. It would have to be a neighbor, it would have to be yung kaibigan mo na hindi naman kasali sa will. So yes, it's not necessarily sayo lang. There are requirements for witnesses to actually be there nung unang before pandemic, the two witnesses would have to be there around you. So ngayon, pwede nang hindi andun sila physically. So you can have witnesses via video.
Well, okay. Well, tatanong ko sana kung ano ba rationale or objective nitong merong two witnesses. What if, for example, yung isa sa witness ko, si Edgar Duay, witness ko, isa sa mga anak ko, hindi ko na pinamanahan. Biglang sabihin ni Edgar, uy, hindi ka pinamanahan ng tatay mo, wala ka sa listahan ng witness, ng will. Walang ganun, no? Is there such a thing, attorney?
No, I mean, you can say whatever it is to Will Mo. There's no such thing that it has to be a secret. It doesn't matter. Obviously,
Hindi ba sikreto yan?
uh,
Akala ko, di ba, pagdating sa will, hindi nila alam kung ano nakuha nila, bawat isa.
not necessarily. Sometimes, not necessarily. Sometimes people would know kung ano yung. Sometimes people would actually say, dito hindi ganun ka ano yan. Dito, none would say, oh, actually this is yours or this is going to be split three. Minsan, it would work para hindi na, alam mo talaga kung ano yung gusto ng tao. So parang nasabing talaga niya na, ito yung gusto ko. You talk to a lawyer. So it doesn't need to be a whole secret because, wala namang kailangang, if kung ikaw as magbibigay ng mana, gusto mong sabihin sa kung sinong gusto mong bigyan, absolutely fine. The reason why may witnesses is that to ensure na kung may challenge man sa mental capacity mo, na kung ikaw ba talaga yung nag-sign nun, they can say, Edgar Duay can say, yeah, si Sunny talaga yung nag-sign yan. He was there, he was fine. He was in a good mood. Hindi naman siya laseng, hindi naman siya mukhang wala sa wisyo. He was in a good mood. So, it's a check and balance. And dalawa sila, sabay sila andon para makita nila at the same time kung ano yung nangyayari. The good thing about this one, the video signing, is pwede mong i-record. Ideally, sabi nga nila, pwede mong i-record. So instead of people saying what happened, actually, meron ka ng video recording of what actually happened. And you can see, talagang si Sunny, mukha namang okay si Sunny, maayos naman, mukhang may kulay naman yung itsura, at hindi naman nasa wisyo naman of sound mind. So that's exactly what they're trying to do. This is only in force until 30th of January 2022 or as long as considered necessary. So pwede nilang extend, but this is a temporary adjustment ng law. Even this has gone on for yung Wills Act, humaki mo, 1837 to pinasa, Mr. Sonny, 1837.
1837, oo nga, sabi mo, update na sa England, no? Yung will signing na
is updated,
naka-video na.
updated.
Teka muna,
Now,
hindi mo binanggit mo, hindi 2021, binanggit mo 2022 ng January. Tama ba yun? Did I hear you right?
You heard me
And then
right.
later on siguro kung may mga pagbabago pa, medyo si COVID ano pa rin, no? Binigyan pa tayo ng third or fourth or fifth lockdown. Hindi pa natin alam. We will have to wait pa rin kung i-extend yon. And then so when everything's okay, then it goes back to everybody has to be there for the signing, no?
We
For the
don't
witnessing.
know actually. We don't know. They might think, ito lang sa akin, they might think, okay pala to Okay pala tong video well na to Pwedeng, however, hindi lahat gusto ng video, hindi lahat may video facility, so they have to think about that. So they haven't really said if they're going to make it permanent. They haven't really said if they're going to make it an option. But ang parang analysis within the legal sector is magmo-move talaga towards digitalization. Kasi parang nagulat din ang legal sector na mahilig kami sa traditional, a little bit medyo old-fashioned. And actually, the reality is that we're using a lot of this technology around us. We're using video calls all the time. We're using remote work. Alam mo, telephone hearing. Ngayon lang dumami talaga yung telephone hearing. Hearings via Skype. So, we'll wait and see. It'll be interesting kung i-adapt nila to in a much more medium to long term approach. But for me, it's very it's quite parang revolutionary siya in some way na this is a very old-fashioned law. This has been going on for years and years and years. And it took a
Mhm.
pandemic to say, hang on a minute, that's fine. We can do, kasi dati, alam mo, di ba, COVID. Ito sa kwento lang, Mr. Laragan.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hindi pa talagang kailangan mo ng witness physical. Paano yung mga taong shielding? Kailangan hindi umalis ng bahay. So what they did was sa bintana sila nagsasign ng will para makita sila ng witness nila. There were stories of that happening na yung kapitbahay mo, because you can't get out, shielding ka, so buksan mo yung bintana, sasay na ako kasi bibigyan mo
Mhm.
sa kapitbahay mo so they don't enter your premises. So it's a bit, siguro naisip namin, it's a bit hindi ganun ka-practical, so why don't we do, and not also safe kasi, if people are shielding, parang
Oo.
hindi naman, i-expose sila sa ganun. So that's really the background of it.
Alam mo ba yung SSS, yung Social Security System natin, yung sa Pilipinas, may
Ako?
nakakapagpatuloy pa rin tayo ng contribution sa SSS eh. Ah, yung mga nag-retire na, di ba? Kumbaga, merong pension na. Every year, ginagawa ng SSS, via Skype, they have to see the person kung buhay pa. Dahil baka mamaya tanggap lang ng tanggap ng pension eh. Tapos patay na pala, di ba? Di ba? Yung,
Patay na
may
pala,
ganun.
yeah.
Tapos yung one, si Arroyo, si pangalan to Arroyo na to na brother ni nung son yung asawa ni dating President Gloria Arroyo Macapagal, si Iggy Arroyo yung brother na younger brother ng asawa niya nandito, namatay dito. And I was doing stories for GMA. Kasama ko si Rosie Clarinar for ABS-CBN naman siya. Andun kami sa may Courts of Justice and we were able to attend yung mga hearings nila. Nagkaroon ng yung via teleconference sa isang hotel sa Pilipinas at saka yung UK. Na tinitingnan
Yeah.
namin sa video feed yung yung
Yeah.
nag-witness from kasi yung daughter nga ang parang siya ang ano ba tawag dito? Yung tagapag kung sa will and siya ang executor or something like that. Dito
Executor,
Oo,
yes.
parang ganon.
The executor,
Oo.
yeah. Right.
So, usong-uso
Yeah.
na,
So maybe
mauuso na nga yan, no? Yung ganyan, puro video camera na lang, no? Tipid tayo sa pamasahe. Wala ka ng parking, wala ka ng,
that is true.
di ba, pamasahe, no? Di ba?
I'll tell you isa kong experience. I'll tell you
Mm.
first yung feedback about using purely video in terms of hearing. Merong iba na hindi nila ganun kagusto because when you look at a person kung witness ka, kung judge ka, or even if you're a lawyer, you also don't just hear yung sinasabi nila. You also look for nonverbal cues. So minsan, when you're face to face as well. So normally in a court setting, malayo kayo, about 2 meters away. The judge is nandun sa docket niya, andun yung witness, and you can see everything. You can see makikita mo yung judge, makikita mo sa peripheral yung judge, makikita mo yung witness, makikita mo yung other party. So you have all this stimulus sa environment mo that you can pick up. That's one of the things na sinasabi nila. Wala pa yung technology na ganon. Kasi in a remote hearing, you normally just see kung sino yung kausap mo or yung judge. Depending probably kung sino yung judge. Sometimes andun yung lahat na but you can't, it's a bit different kasi hindi mo sila nakikita lahat. So hindi pa completely, what I'm trying to say is that hindi pa completely nami-mimic, hindi pa completely nare-replicate yung court setting. It would be interesting kung merong ganon. They talk about augmented reality, virtual reality. It would be interesting. Pag may ganon na, probably, hindi, as you said, hindi na kailangan ng traffic, hindi na kailangan ng a waiting period. Kasi babayaran mo yan sa abogado mo, the waiting period and the travel period. So it's gonna mean cost down para sa mga kliyente. However, what I found really interesting, and para sa akin, that was good. That was really, really good. Hindi ako ganun ka optimistic kasi iba yung sa isip ko kung paano mangyayari. Mediation. So, mediation, normally, iba-ibang kwarto kayo. tag-isang kwarto kayo, and yung mediator, we call it shuffle mediation. Yung mediator, they'll move across rooms. And you have a common room. Meron kayo isang malaking room na lahat kayo pwedeng pumunta to face each other. So parang yun yung settlement, the classic settlement meeting. Sa isip ko, paano kaya mangyayari to sa Zoom? You know, parang it's a bit too much. Parang hindi ko masyado na envision. Actually, for me, it was not bad at all. It was not bad at all. Kasi there was something to just put everyone, halimbawa tayo, we're opposite. Si Edgar Duay yung mediator. Edgar Duay can put us all in a common room. Tapos Edgar Duay can just split us up into our own rooms. It is possible. Apparently, it is possible. I experienced it firsthand. It's easy. It's very very user friendly. Na nakakatuwa kasi we ended very late, 7 o'clock. But ano ba yun, parang hindi ka na uuwi. ano ka na, hindi ka na magta-travel. Papatay mo na lang yung laptop mo. And actually, you're fine. You don't have to travel back. And that really made a huge difference after a hard day. Yung extra 2 hours na commute or 1 hour to commute. Kasi normally, we do mediation elsewhere, in London or And nung ako, I was like, that's not too bad. I don't need to travel back elsewhere. Talagang, yung new kliyente din, the clients were at home. So they were like, okay, we're just gonna have dinner now. Bye-bye. So for us, I don't know kung feeling ko, and sometimes siguro little things can assist yung psyche ng tao if they don't think, okay, hindi ako ganun ka-stress, I don't need to go home. I can add another 2 hours to negotiation. Hindi ako ganun ka-impatient. For me, that was very, very interesting. And I probably would want to do mediation via Zoom in due course. Kasi you can just stay where you are. Clients are happy, komportable sila. They can just go home after. And they're in a very familiar setting. Mas relax sila. So, that's
Maraming
for me.
savings. Attorney, alam mo, maraming savings. Hindi ka na magta-travel. Hindi ka na magta-travel, di ba? Ikalawa,
Correct.
hindi ka na bibili ng mga pantalon, hindi ka na bibili ng skirt. Dahil wala, pag itaas lang ang bibili mo, di ba? Pwede na mag-short pants na, nakapajama ka na lang, di ba? Hindi, ganun. May mga events na, kunyari, nag-ano sila, meron tayong event ngayon, merong event, pero lahat sila naka-short pants, nakapajama, yung pang itaas lang, naka-necktie pa, naka-coat. Pero pag pinatayo mo, naka-short pants, nakapajama, di ba? So, nakakatipid tayo. Kaya lang, tama yung sinabi mo, iba rin yung ambience, iba yung mga cues ba nakikita mo, di ba? Doon ba nakikita mo kung medyo fidgety, kung kabado, o lahat, ano ba nakikita mo sa pagka-actual na, di ba? Na actual na court situation. Nakikita mo lahat, di ba?
Nakikita mo lahat, naririnig mo, nakikita mo little things. You can feel the tension sometimes, even the tension. And hindi, not necessarily marireplicate ng digital yon kasi parang minsan may lag pa nga, nawala pa,
nawala yung internet, di ba?
Wala yung internet,
pwede pa lang gawing excuse yun, kunyari, i-out mo lang, kunyari, parang, di ba, natatense ka, hindi ako, humina yung aking internet, di ba? Pwede lang may palusot, lalo na kung tension. May kliyente ka naman, nagsuntukan ba sila o nagkasampalan o kaya talagang nagmurahan sila o nagkaroon ng tension talaga Meron ka bang ganun na nagkaroon ng conflict with naharapan? Verbal lang, I hate you,
Yeah, in the past,
you are so. Meron ganyan? Nag-walk out?
May nag-walk out at may umiyak. May mga ganun talaga, may nag-walk out.
Ganun ba?
So parang, okay, calm down.
Para okay, para pala parang pelikula pala yung mga yan, Oo.
Minsan, ganun din. Minsan, parang,
ganun ang buhay ng tao talaga, Talagang, puro may tension din,
reality. Reality.
Oo, syempre, drama ng buhay yan, di ba, attorney? Drama ng buhay din yan,
You never get the same day. Yan lang ang very interesting with our work. Talagang iba-iba, araw-araw. So,
para kasi Manny Pacquiao, parang gustong-gusto yung mga kalaban ni Manny Pacquiao nangangatog. Parang takot na takot, tense na pupunta sa boxing ring, Ikaw, para kasi Manny Pacquiao, excited, parang bata, Parang, para sa kanya, it's fun, di ba? O trabaho lang sa kanya, walang personalan.
Trabaho lang naman. Every day, may good thing, may not so good thing, but you go home, you feel okay, at least survive, next day
Oh,
uli. So,
it
yeah,
happens to everybody.
yeah,
Like singers, for example, they have a
never,
good night, they have a bad night, di ba? May bad performance, may good performance. May ganyan eh, halo-halo naman. Attorney, magbe-break lang tayo. Tuloy natin konting
yeah,
pagbati natin at baka may mga tanong yung ating mga kasamahan.
tatanong pa, yeah.
We'll have a short break. Huwag ko kayong aalis, no? Kami ho ni Attorney Dana Quinto ay magbabalik.
100% all natural. Tasty. Healthy. Versatile. 4 unique flavors. Taste a real sauce. Galettos.
During these trying times, we salute the frontliners who are tirelessly caring for all of us against the COVID-19. To all the courageous nurses, doctors, carers, and paramedics at the NHS, words are not enough to thank you. We at Highlight Express International are here to support you back with a full semester 10% discount when you send your balikbayan boxes to your family in the Philippines. Dahil ang Highlight Express International ay para sa pamilya.
Okay, nako,
Yun.
tuloy-tuloy tayo sa ating program. Ayan, oo, may mga pagbati. May namiss ako mga pagbati dito. Hindi kasi lumalabas.
Yes,
Nag-skip
yes,
din
yes.
minsan yung ating ano, no? Ayan, meron tayo ditong,
But,
ano ba tawag dito? Si ano, pangalan to? May nakita ko kanina. Ito, si Raji. Ano ba to? Aguilo Ramos yata to. Hello po sa lahat. No? Si Rudy Librojo. Hindi ko nakita yung kanyang message. Yung anak pala ni Rudy Librojo, si Mia, ano, no, pumasok sa semifinals ng 13 and overs ang tawag nila rito. Hindi over, no? 13 and overs. At yan, congratulations, no? Sana ituloy-tuloy na, no? Uh, ayan.
congratulations, Rudy, and sa anak mo. Galing.
Galing, mahusay yun. Ay, para siyang Ed Sheeran na batang-bata, no?
Ah,
Oo, mahusay yun, attorney, ha?
wow.
Mahusay na mahusay yun.
Okay, sige.
Um,
Tingnan natin.
Okay, tapos ito si Richard Olega Patino, matagal na nating viewer to, attorney. Siguro kung may 10 years, 10 years na siguro. At ano natin to, tagahanga natin sa station natin to, si Richard Olega Patino. Richard, ano ba, mga 10 years na? O 9 years, 8 years? Ganon katagal si Richard
Dapat
Olega
ano
Patino,
yan.
no?
Dapat
Oo,
may
dapat
mga
yan bigyan
loyal
ng
viewers
medalya.
ka.
Oo
Bigyan ng
nga,
medalya.
oo nga.
Good evening,
Good
Richard.
evening,
Ano
keep
ba? 10
safe.
years, Richard? 10
Richard,
years,
naman, 10
10 years.
years, 9 years, 8 years, no? Si Richard Olega Patino. Ito si ano, sabi niya, you should try to go to Lake Como, DQ, yan, and do the Green Mile Walk. Right.
Yeah.
Saan yan? Lake Como.
Ano?
Oo, Lake
Like,
Como, no? Di ba Como? Lake Como,
yeah.
C-O-M-O ba yan? C-U-O-M-O? Cuomo? Ganun ba? Tama ba?
C-O-M-O. Yeah, Como. Yeah, Como.
Mo lang,
Yeah.
C-O-M-O lang. Hindi ba C-U-O-M-O?
Hindi nga.
Tignan mo nga.
There's a
Attorney, tignan mo nga.
there's
Lake
a
Cuomo is like
like
C-U-O-M-O yata, no? Ayan.
Como.
Tignan
I
natin.
guess.
Lake Cuomo. Si ano, ito, Ariel Kitane Funa, watching from Czech Republic. Ariel, mabuhay ka, ha? Nakakatuwa naman
Galing.
na.
Wow,
Ano ka ba?
mabuhay ka.
Ano ka ba? Nurse or IT? Bakit ka nandiyan sa Czech Republic? Nasa Prague ka ba? Ang sikat na
That's
place niya, Prague, ha? Have you been to Prague, attorney?
I wanna go. I've been wanting to go for a while now. Maganda daw doon, Mr. Laragan. Nakapunta na po ba kayo?
Yes, so nakapunta na ako sa Prague. Para sa akin, it's a yung para akong nasa ano ba yung second na yung second na parang yung kung saan yung Sound of Music, attorney sa Austria, ano ba 'yon? Naalala mo kung
Austria, yeah.
anong
Yeah.
Salzburg,
Not
Salzburg. Oh, yung ano yung
Salzburg.
The hills are alive with the sound of music. Doon ginanap,
Ganda
na
naman.
sinuting. Oh, Salzburg. Doon yata namatay si ano,
Oh,
hindi ko alam kung sino ba namatay sa Salzburg? Birthplace ba o doon siya
mm,
namatay? Hindi ko alam kung si kung si Chopin o kung hindi ko alam kung sino, no? Paki-check nga lang kung sino namatay ba
yes, yes,
pinanganak sa
Salzburg.
Salzburg, no? Salzburg, oo. Kasi nung nasa
Ganda ng
Prague ako,
boses
para
mo.
sino 'yun?
Ganda ng boses mo, Mr. Ikaw? Magandang boses mo, Mr. Laragan. Dapat,
Sana pag kumanta ng
magko-commercial
The
tayo.
Hill,
Bibigay ng intermission si Mr. Laragan.
kumakanta, nako, nako, baka wala nang manood sa atin pag kumanta ako. O sige, abangan ho ninyo. Meron akong intro sa Sabado ho, may kakantahin ako. Subukan ko sana kantahin 'yon. Pero ano lang 'yun, parang intro
Yun.
for a few seconds lang. Uy, namimigay tayo ng ano
Galing
ha,
ka.
3,000 pesos attorney pagka Sabado ha. So the more winners, the more na manalo, the more 3,000 pesos. So last week we gave tatlong 3,000 pesos, no? Isang taga ang nanalo isang taga France, Chanel ba yun? Chanel, tapos isang
Ah,
taga
Chanel yan.
London, dalawang taga London yata nanalo this last Sunday.
Yeah,
Tatlo
galing.
ano pangalan ng babae? Nakalimutan ko na. Anyway, oh yeah, yeah, no. Congratulations. Ito mo kaya tang nagko-contest sila. Ariel, ano ka ba? Are you a nurse? Pakisabi lang, no? Kung ano ka, kung ikaw ay
Goodness.
ayan, ito naman
Epsom.
Epsom. Hmm, ayan,
Epsom,
good
yeah.
evening.
Epsom, yeah. Galing. Ang
Oo.
dami. Ang dami ngayon. Ang dami. Nakakatawa.
Cynthia
Nakakatawa po.
Hugo,
Yeah.
tanongin natin kung mahilig sa kabayo to.
Bakit?
Di ba may anong Epsom, di ba meron diyang parang racetrack yata,
Oh,
ayun.
of course, the Epsom Derby. Epsom Derby, no?
Oo,
Yeah,
may
or
Derby.
something.
Oo, may
Yeah.
mga ano yan. Derby, ano ba, Epsom, ano ba mga sikat na mga sa kabayo? The day at
Windsor. I've been
Ascot.
to Windsor. Ascot. Ascot,
Meron bang
especially.
may karera ba sa Windsor?
Meron po. I've been first time ko.
Meron?
First time ko, 2 years ago. Nanalo ako 4 out of 7 races. Beginner's luck. 4 out of 7.
Oh,
Nanalo
magkano
ko
na
sa
panalo
ano.
mo? How much did you win? Magkano na
I,
panalo mo?
I don't remember, but ano ako, conservative naman ako mag-ano, but naimbitahan lang ako nung sa work, sa ano, punta lang kami. Tapos,
Na,
beginners
na,
talaga, beginners.
attorney,
Oo.
nakapanood ka na ba ng karera ng aso?
Ay, hindi ba yung Greyhound? Hindi pa po, nakakatawa din daw po
Hindi,
eh,
meron
sabi
dito
nila.
sa ano, Wimbledon. Hindi, ayoko wala na yata. Pero nakapanood
Yeah.
ako sa ano, nakapanood ako yata sa Houston, Texas. Sa ba ako nakapanood? Hindi ko alam kung Dallas ako nakapanood o sa, basta, naubos yung
Yeah,
pera namin.
that's good.
Naubos yung pera.
Dapat ano niyo po ba, binabasa niyo din kasi nano-nerd din ako, binabasa ko yung ano, yung parang leaflet
Kabayo?
nila tapos
Oo.
pwede mong puntahan dun sa parade bago sila mag-ano, may parade sila. Tapos titingnan mo kung
Oo.
ika yung kabayo na gusto mo. So titingnan mo kung sino yung pinakakalmado, sino yung pinakamabait. So hindi ako one time lang ako pumunta. So that was what we did. We really looked at the horses.
Ano yung
Nakakatawa.
attorney? Yung pumaparada ba before the race o after,
Before the race, yeah. Before the
before the
race.
actual race nila, yung magiging race na? Di ba sabi mo, you won
Mhm.
4 out of 7? Ano ba yan? Tinatayaan
Four out of
mo before they race o tinatayaan mo in one time yon na pipiliin mo na yung 7 straight away? Ganun? O hindi?
Before po.
Tataya ka every race, tataya ka, ganun?
Yeah. And
Okay, okay.
nandun talaga ako. Nandun ako sa vicinity. So you can just go. I was going to the same booker ata yung tawag doon sa galit niya. May picture pa nga kami. Sabi niya, balik ka ng balik dito. Babangsak mo ba ako?
Oh,
Natawan
that's,
ka. Sabi ko, beginners pa lang, beginners lang.
pero yung
Beginners
choice mo
lang.
ng mga
I never
kabayo
did.
mo, pero yung choice mo ng kabayo mo, attorney, ano yan? Were you analyzing something o basta trip mo lang parang ay tatayaan ko to, parang gusto ko to, number ganyan. Was it just parang katuwaan lang or were you also more or less
Yeah.
katuwaan lang? Hindi yung tinitingnan mo yung history ng kabayo
Katawaan,
na
but
yan.
I was
Uy,
thinking,
maraming beses to
yeah.
nanalo. O teka muna, medyo ano to, may outstanding favorite to, o ano. O ito, medyo
Alam mo yung
dehado.
ah,
Oo.
katawaan, tapos I read a little bit. And then punta, yung talagang pre-parade, pre-race parade nila, doon mo talaga makikita kasi may mga mainit na ulo na kabayo talaga doon na parang, alam mo yun, hindi mo
Mm,
talaga, that was,
wow.
yung panalo ko doon is nakita ko yung kabayo, sabi ko, ay, parang sobrang confident niya. And he wasn't the topmost favorite, parang second or third lang siya. And I just like his name as well, so I was like, okay, all right, that was beginner's
Oo.
luck.
Ay, that's good.
Or
That's good. Maswerte ka. Maswerte ka. And also, Windsor is the place where si Elton John would hold his talagang yung mga renowned parties niya, no? Talagang ano, 'di ba? Yung parties ni Elton John, taga Windsor yan eh, si Elton John together with his yung partner niya, sino Furnace, ano pa ano asawa niya, si Furnish ba ang
you know,
apelyido nun?
yeah.
Oo.
Di ba may ano siya? May film po siya. I forgot who the film was. May film siya
Oo,
few
yun,
years
oo,
back.
oo, yan. Rocketman. Rocketman yata yan.
Rocketman. That was it.
Oo,
It was good.
autobiographical. Oo, oo, yeah, yeah, oo. Okay yan.
Rocket-
Ito,
Yeah.
nag-message sa atin yung ating accountant, si Edgardo Cagastian Enriquez. Sabi niya, Kuya Sani and Attorney
Mo-
Dana, Wolfgang Mozart, yan, was born in Salzburg, Austria. Yun, alam ko kasi pinunta ko yung bahay niya eh. Pinunta ko yung bahay
Yeah.
niya. Oo,
Yeah.
ang maganda sa Salzburg, magsakay, ang style ko kasi when I go to a place, I try to go to at least two different places at the same time para makarami ako, no? Pero meron doon isang
Yeah.
lugar na you have to take the bus yata, you'll go out of town, pupunta ka sa isang lugar kung saan may snow sa taas, meron siyang cable car pataas, tapos snow lang sa taas eh, na maganda yung place eh. Matutuwa ka dyan sa Salzburg, Salzburg. Tapos yun, sa Prague nga, kasi sumakay ako ng parang paakyat ng wall na parang funicular ba? Yung mga have you been to, sa Hastings may funicular. Tapos dun din sa ano, we went to, di ba nung kailan galing kami ng English Riviera, doon sa
Yeah.
may funicular. Oh, may funicular. Yung funicular parang cable car na nasa mismong ano, nasa tabi ng
High-speed chair.
mountain. Ha?
Yeah.
Yun,
High-speed
funicular.
chair.
Yun. Oh, meron yun sa ano, sa Prague at saka sa ano, sa pangalan niyan sa Salzburg. Maganda Salzburg, ah.
Austria.
Ando pa rin yung kaibigan kong first time ko na meet the Abela family, Abela family. Munes family, oh, nakamit ako doon sa uh, ano, yun na yata yung mga first travels ko when I arrived in the UK, eh. Yun ang mga early 2000. Oh, so mga more than almost
Yeah.
20 years ago. Galing ako roon, oh.
Yeah.
So, yan,
We
mabuhay
used
ah,
to do a
talagang
Pinoy. Mabuhay, mga Abelo family. You should do a Pinoy radio mobile. Yung ano ka, buong Europe. Tapos, aanuhin mo yung, kasi diba, ano mo yun, parang bucket list mo yung mag-drive
parang ano
around.
yan,
You should do that.
parang yung wish, ano, parang wish, ano ba yung wish bus, di ba?
Wish FM,
Kumakanta sa
yeah, wish bus. You should do
FM o sa
that. You
Amerika
should
din, at saka sa Pilipinas,
Oo.
no? Oo, yeah, maganda yun. Magkakanta, pupunta sa ano, no? Ay,
Oo,
merong isang
pupunta
show
sa
pala,
mga
attorney.
Pinoy.
May isang show sa Spain na gustuhan ko, napapanood ko dati yon. Ang ginagawa niya, he would travel to different places of Spain. And then meron siyang mga artist na kumakanta dun sa lugar na yun and they talk about life siguro, parang ganon. Pero mostly
Yeah.
performances, he is a musician and then he would jam with these performers. He would also sing with them. Mahusay, oh. Meron ako siyang paborito doon, si attorney. Nakalimutan ko na to, Spanish girl na to, si, ah, nakalimutan ko na. Paborito ko yun eh. Pagka nakikinig ako ng radyo, yung Cadena Dial. Cadena Dial ang favorite radio station ko. Cadena Dial. Ayan. Cadena Dial.
Adena Dial.
Okay.
Ganda naman.
Oy,
Ano ba?
teka muna, attorney, mabalik tayo doon sa wheels, no? Ang wheels ba,
Yeah.
you can, meron ba, may babayaran ba yan? O can you have as many wheels as you can? Parang ibig sabihin, bago ka na bago. Next month, teka muna, baguhin ko wheel ko, asar na ako doon sa anak ko, o babaguhin ko. Can you change it as often as you can? And if you do, magastos ba yan? Oh, walang bayad dyan. You
Depende
just
sa
draw up a will. Paano yan?
depende. We would really recommend na you get legal advice kasi as we said, yung papamana mo, it's your life savings, it's your hard-earned assets. So you want to be able to do it properly. And kasi sabi ko nga sa'yo, may mga requirements like yung witnessing ng will, may mga complexities. And it's not just about wills, it's also about estate planning, may mga taxation consideration din yan. So really get proper legal advice. Um, you can make but you can agree with your solicitor. Merong isa na sasabihin, oh, okay, this is just one will. Other solicitors would say, okay, you can come back to me after 2 years if you want, and then depende sa changes mo. It can be minimal or it can be free. So it's all subject to what you agree with your solicitor. It should, you can change your will as much as you can. It's entirely up to you. As long as it's valid, obviously, you have to make sure it's valid. You have to make sure that you follow the formalities and the legal requirements. Kung hindi, then sayang lang. So it is very important. Kumbaga, ito yung pinaka ito yung pinakamalaking isa sa pinakamalaking event in terms of passing on your hard-earned assets to the next generation. It makes sense to also invest in making sure na tama yung proseso.
Ayun. Okay. May message dito. Ano, ewan ko kung hindi natin nabasa, Kuya Jay. Sabi niya, hello po, Attorney Ganda naman. Sabi niya, ganda naman ni Attorney. Oh, ang pangalan to, si
Bait
Kuya
naman
Jay.
si Kuya Jay. Si Kuya
Kuya
Jay,
Jay,
bait
oh.
naman. Ay, nako.
Kuya Jay, okay
Nakakabahan
naman.
po.
Palagi ko na, tapos na yung kanyang yearly eye check-up sa, ano pangalan itong sikat na, no? Yung Specsavers, no? So, walang problema.
Specsavers.
Oo.
Specsavers.
Hindi, wait, tapos na siya, nakapag, ano na siya. So, tama yung mata niya ngayon, walang problema. Pag sinabi niyang, pag nag-compliment siya, tama. Hindi natin, we cannot doubt his eyesight, no? Dahil tama-tama. Thank you very much, Jay. Mabuhay. Thanks for your, kind words, no? Oo. Oh, ito naman. Ito, pag-usapan kasi yung karera ng kabayo. Attorney, kasi meron kang beginner's luck. Oh, meron na naman sa ating bumabati naman. Isa na sa lugar na naman ng mga kabayo.
Sige nga.
Ayan.
Sige.
Oh, yan. Sige nga.
Cheltenham.
Oh, di ba may kabayo dyan?
Proper.
May races din ng Cheltenham, no? Di ba? No?
Yeah, very
Pakibigay nga
big race po yan. Cheltenham, yeah.
sa Cheltenham, no? Oo. Epsom, Cheltenham, Ascot, ano pa ba yung mga sikat na mga puro may kabayo, no?
Sa may Cambridge, I don't know, forgot about it.
Cambridge, ha?
Basta meron pa,
Binanggit mo yung Cambridge, hindi pa ako napupunta rin. Ang dami ko nang naikot sa
very
UK.
beautiful.
Hindi pa ako napunta sa Cambridge, maski minsan. Oxford.
It's
Sawan-sawa
very
na ako. Paulit-ulit ako sa Oxford, eh.
It's very
Oo.
beautiful, Mr. Lorana. You should go. It's absolutely beautiful. Ako, ilang beses na rin ako sa Cambridge. It's beautiful. Ako, gusto
Hindi
ko
ko
yung
pa
Cambridge.
napuntahan ng Cambridge. Oo.
Napunta ka dun sa may, yung may punting. Katulad sa Oxford, yung meron silang yung boat nila doon. Tapos, yung parang nagro-row yung mga visitors and tourists there. It's very good.
Meron dito, mas malapit sa akin. Diyan sa Hyde Park.
Okay.
Oh, ang problema ko lang, baka hindi ako makabalik. Oh, Hyde Park. Did you know, merong ano doon? Yung sa Hyde Park yung ginaganon, yung parang, yung pinipedal na, ano? Oh, pinipedal.
Lalabas ba yan sa Thames? Baka naman lumabas ka sa Thames.
Hindi, ang worry ko lang, na-worried nga ako dahil takot nga ako sa hindi ako marunong mag-swimming. Hindi ko alam, baka mag-capsize. Hindi ko alam kung safe yun, no? Kung talagang safe. Pero yeah, it's nice also to go to Hyde Park and do that, yung pinipidal-pidal lang, no? Pero yung sinasabi mo, I don't know kung kaya ko yun dahil, di ba, yung paddling ba yun na parang ano? Nirarentahan mo ba yan, attorney?
Punting. It's a bit different. Punting yung tawag. Punting. P-U-N-T-I-N-G.
Ano yun?
Punting.
Sa bangka yun? Bangka?
So parang bangka po siya na medyo pahaba. Pero meron lang silang stick na malaki. Tapos meron silang trick to make sure na yun ang gagamitin nila to row. Kaso, kailangan marunong ka kasi pwede ka ma-stuck sa mud. So, mababa lang yung tubig. So, ganun yung inaano nila. Parang gondola style. Parang ganun. May ginaganon sila. Ginagamit nila yung malaking stick.
Really? Okay, may stick
Parang
sila, no?
gondola siya.
Oh.
If you know gondola or ganun
Nakasakay ka
sa
na ba sa
baba.
gondola, attorney? Nakasakay
Hindi
ka na ba
pa,
sa gondola?
hindi pa. Oh, no.
Oy, alam mo ba, mahal yan. Pero may isang part,
Bakit?
kung anong gusto mo, mahal yan gondola. Pero kung merong isang, nabasa ko doon sa parang travel, na kung gusto mo makatipid, yung magko-cross lang siya, yung magko-cross lang ng kanal. May part doon sa ano pa, saan nga pala yan? Saan nga yan? Kanal na yan? Saan yan? Sa
Venice.
Venecia,
Venice.
Venice. Oh, Venice,
Yeah,
Venice.
Venice.
Oo, para lang maka-experience ka ng gondola, meron
Okay.
doon na murahin lang, imbes magta-traverse ng mga kanal, magko-cross lang. O, di naka-experience ka
Picture ka
na ng
lang.
gondola. Pag ready ka na magpa-picture, tatawid lang yun ng gano'n. Siguro mga ilang meters lang, siguro mga 50 o 60 meters, no? O, ganyan. Yun na yun, nakatawid ka na, di ba? Pero okay lang, okay lang. It's an experience. Have you been to, Have you been to Venice?
Hindi pa. I wanna go. I wanna go for a long, long
Dapat
time.
mag-drive tayo pala. Kailangan tayo.
Tara
So,
na, tara na. Pinoy Radio Travel Edition. Pinoy Radio Travel. Travel and eating and hiking and running
oo
edition.
nga, oo nga.
Dapat
Oo,
yun.
tama yun, tama yun. Oh,
Tara
let's
na.
do that. Yeah, actually, we were thinking, that crossed my mind, yung mga summertime na, tapos live,
Mm,
naka-broadcast tayo, no? Habang,
nice.
habang
Yeah.
nagta-travel, no? Maganda yan, oo.
Nakakatuwa.
So, yeah, okay. Spain pa lang iniikot-ikot ko. I'd like to travel all around Italy, ganyan.
Yeah.
France, mahal sa France eh. Kasi ano pangalan sa France? Mahal ang France yung mga toll gates, yung toll.
Yeah, we did as well. We did yung friends ko a couple of years back. Meron kaming hindi ako mag-drive, but my friends from Philippines, sila yung nag-drive, so we were driving across France. Mahal nga yung toll, so saan ba kami nagkumuha ng rental? Sa Paris din. So from Paris, we went all the way to Auxerre, which is 2 hours from
Saan,
Paris.
attorney? Saan yun? Saan yan? Oster,
Auxerre,
ano?
Auxerre, Auxerre.
Saan yun? Sa France
Auxerre.
din?
Southeast ng France, yeah. Southeast ng France. 2 hours from Paris. 2 hours from Paris. So
Okay.
dun kami nag-race. And then we went to Givry, which is another 2 hours away. Dun ako nag-marathon na may wine. So, yeah, the toll, I heard the toll was a bit crazy, but maayos
Oo
yun
nga, hindi, mahal
talaga.
talaga ang toll, mahal. If you take the mga B
Mahal.
roads o yung mga side roads, medyo matagal lang ang biyahe, no? Pero okay rin. Kaya lang,
Matagal.
mahal talagang toll sa ano pa ito, sa France. Yan ang parang
Yeah.
no. Sa Spain is so lovely and wonderful. There are so many beautiful places. Mga UNESCO heritage, yung United Nation, UNESCO World Heritage Sites, marami sila. Yung
Heritage,
aqueduct.
yeah.
I forgot where the aqueduct is, no? Marami silang magagandang
Yeah.
places and you would love it, no? And the weather is perfect dahil,
Weather is
maganda
really
compared
good.
dito sa atin, pagkalamig-lamig dito sa United Kingdom, Ngayon,
Very
10
nice.
o'clock, 10 o'clock tuloy, 10 degrees, kahapon 16 degrees. Ngayon, parang sabi ko, ba't ang
So cool.
nipi-nipi? Nagkita kami ni Rowena Romulo. Oh, Rowena, good evening, no? Ayan, yung ating, we did something, no? Yung may-ari ng ano pangalan nito, ng Romulo Cafe. At
Romulo.
hindi tuloy, na-stop na konti yung kanilang, meron silang promo, yung mamimigay ng ram, no? You have a dinner, and then you have, may draw sila.
The
May
big
sila,
rum.
Don Pepe
Yeah,
ram,
the big
may
rum.
Don Pepe ba yun? Don something
Don't
ram,
Pepe,
no?
tama. Don't Pepe
Don Pepe nga ba?
Yeah, that's good.
Oo,
Yeah,
yung
I think
ram,
so.
Oh, Don Papa pala, Papa. Don Papa.
Don't Papa pala.
Don Papa ram. Hindi matutuloy dahil walang bawal lang kumain from Thursday eh. Puro takeaway na lang eh.
Lockdown, yeah.
Oo, ang
Lockdown.
hirap ng business ngayon. It's a different life that we
Yeah.
live this
Okay.
nowadays. Kayo, at least sa mga lawyers, pwede pa, di ba? You can
Yeah,
make
for
use
sure.
of the video, the digital, no, to see clients. Sabi mo nga,
Correct.
yung mga family court, yung courts, yung mga sa family and mga ganyan litigation courts will still operate, di ba? Sabi mo, tama ba 'yun?
It's still operating. Yes, it's still
When they operate
operating.
sila pero digitally ba, or do you still have to go there personally?
They can. It is up to the discretion of the court to say face to face kung kailangan talaga, or hybrid or remote. Obviously, ang ano nila is as much as possible remote. But kung kailangan talaga nilang face to face, they have the discretion to do so dahil ang guidance ng government is that the courts are open during the 4-week lockdown.
Ayun, okay, okay. Oo nga, siyempre kasi nagkakaroon ng backlog eh. And so by way of
Yeah,
doing this, 'di ba? Somehow you're trying to ease the backlog, no? No, the backlog
exactly.
would still always
Exactly.
will always be there. Hindi naman siguro pwede sila mag-appoint ng more judges and have more courts, no? It's probably just
They
fast
have
tracking yung mga, ha?
They have, Mr. Laragan, they tried doing that as well. They tried opening temporary Nightingale courts din ang tawag nila, Nightingale courts.
Parang
But
hospital
um,
Nightingale, no? Parang ganun.
parang hospital, hindi pa nakakaabot. It's more, I'm not sure kung sa criminal side lang siya or sa civil,
Mm.
but they were planning that as well. They were planning that. And I don't think it's gonna be, tingnan natin next year, they may need to do additional judges, and they may need to hire additional judges and additional courts as well to deal with the backlog. So let's see what's gonna happen next year.
Ayan, oo. Lahat may backlog, pati sa hospital, di ba? Yung dahil because of the COVID, some of the other
Yes,
cases, other mga illnesses, other ganyan, nasa back seat muna, sa back burner for a while. Pero syempre, hindi na po pwede yun. Di ba? You have to work out something, a compromise between, attending to the COVID cases and also attending, the non-COVID cases, no, that are building up. So, yeah.
exactly. I don't know if you kung narinig niyo yung speech ni Prime Minister Boris last Saturday. He gave an
Mm.
emphasis doon na sinabi niya the NHS is open even for non-COVID patients. So do your scans, do your test, use the NHS. We know mahirap ngayon. Everyone is a bit scared of the virus, but if you need it, kung kailangan ng health mo, use it, because yun nga din ang naano, may mga nadidelay na non-COVID um, uh, treatments and diagnosis, which would have a greater impact sa NHS in the longer term. So if kung hindi nila, say for example, this is hypothetical, if kung ngayon in the usual time scale, na-catch nila yung isang cancer na stage 1, it will be dealt with as soon as possible. Hindi na siya magpo-progress to stage 2, stage 3, and 4. Not to mention, masasave mo yung life. If they miss the boat and with the diagnosis, and the diagnosis to stage 4 na, not only hindi lang yung loss of life, but equally yung impacts sa NHS, you'd be treating a much more terminal disease. And if you times that into ilang thousands and thousands, so you're also looking at a medium to long term effect ng non-COVID cases sa public health natin. And I think also, again, that's an interesting analysis ng speech ni Boris Johnson, which gave an impact, gave an invitation, a strong invitation to use the NHS for non-COVID related issues, and do your scans, do your treatment, turn up for your appointments.
Maraming problema lang aside from yung mga regular na physical illnesses, yung mental health ng mga tao ngayon are
Yeah.
affected. Some
Yeah,
people, 'di ba? Kasi nag-extend ng problema, no? So yung
exactly.
income sa nila, 'di ba? Tatanggap ka lang ng 97 pounds or I don't know how many pounds and then per week.
Yeah.
Yung mga bills mo and everything are mounting up or 'di ba? Problema talaga. This is really I don't know, abnormal times to, no? Talagang abnormal times to ating panahon na to. Talagang hirap eh, no? Imagine mo yung tong
Mahirap.
COVID. Never in our lives have we ever experienced this kind of a, no? Of a pandemic, no? Worldwide. At saka, di ba? Pero mo, pupunta ka sa nakamask ka. Oh.
Nakamask
Huhulihin
ka
ka pag wala kang
everywhere,
mask
no?
dyan sa Waterloo,
Exactly.
magkano? 1,600 pounds ba yun? Kung if you're caught
Wow.
without, hindi mo ba alam yun? Meron.
Hindi ko
Sa
alam
may
yun. No,
Waterloo.
no, sorry.
Sa may
Waterloo.
Waterloo Station, no. May malaking
Sanction
sign
nga.
doon. Oo.
Yung mga fines nila, hindi ko na-memorize kung magkano. But in some ways, I'm not
Mm.
surprised. Kailangan mo talaga enforce talaga. And kailangan mo taasan yung penalty para ma-deter yung tao na suwayin yung utos about mask and face and shields, etc.
Eksakto,
So,
oo. Kasi pag
ayun,
hindi mo hinigpitan ng konti yan, wala eh. Di ba, you have to care for, kung hindi man sa sarili mo, sa ibang tao na, di ba? Kung very careless ka, di ba, sa
completely.
ibang tao na sana, meron akong nakita dyan sa Tesco kahapon, I was there, no? Hanging around the coffee shop, kasi may hinihintay akong nagpapaayos, no? Ng buhok. May couple nun, dalawa, bata pa no? Siguro mga nasa early 30s yun, late 20s. Wala silang mask, they just want, namimili-mili lang sila, no? Parang dapat you have to be very, ang tawag dito, conscientious naman, dahil parang kung di man sa'yo, yung sa ibang tao naman, di ba?
Tama,
Ayaw natin
tama
magkasakit
talaga.
di ba?
Tama talaga.
Pagka ganun, dapat
Ngayon,
parusahan
ngayon,
yun.
tama talaga. Ngayon, hahanapin mo cellphone mo, wallet mo before you go out of the door, wallet, keys, and mask. So, pang-apat
And
na
mask, yes. Pag
yan.
nakalimutan mo, di ba? Papasok ka na isang
Kasama,
establishment, tapos wala
ano
kang
ka
mask,
agad,
nakalimutan
sige,
yung mask
mask
ko.
ko.
Wala.
Ayan,
Oh.
the number of
Yan pa naman
times, ako,
pinakamasamang feeling.
bumili talaga.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Ano yan,
bumili
attorney?
talaga ako. But number of times
Ako
na
nga, yun ang
halimbawa,
nakakaasar na feeling, yung may nakalimutan ka. Yung ready ka na,
mm,
no? Tapos biglang makakalimutan ka na, malayo-layo na napuntahan mo. Di ba? Tapos babalik ka lang
oh,
para balikan yung nakalimutan mo. Diyos Mariosa.
yung mask.
Very
Pero
irritating kung gusto mong batukan yung
naman,
sarili mo. Ano yan?
oh, yeah, ilang beses na nangyari sa akin yung balik agad ako. Sabi ko, ay, naku, wala yung mask. But kasama na sa checklist, yun, yung usual mo na dala, key, cellphone, wallet, and then yung mask, dapat kasama, matic na, kumbaga sa atin, matic na dapat
Oo
yun.
nga,
Ano
oo.
ba naman yan?
Kailangan may...
Maliit lang yun, para protektahan yung mga nakapaligid. Di lang sarili mo, pero nakapaligid din sa'yo. Diba?
Tama, oo, tama yung attorney. Oo. Ba, nagyaya na si Edgar, tara, sa yung mga travel natin, no?
Tara na.
Yeah, oo, pwede nang maganda, naka-convoy din tayo dyan sa Europe, no? Masarap hindi yan ang aking nasa, bucket list ko yan. Parang gusto kong makaikot sa Europe ba? Parang, by lang, Europe by car, no? Di ba? Parang,
Dapat may ganun ka, may wish, may Pinoy radio van. Parang ganun, tapos ano kami, parang groupie mo kami, groupie.
baka mamaya magkatotoo yan, attorney, ha? Baka bigla tayong may van na, no? Nakalagay na. Oo. Pagka nagpunta tayo Europe,
Talaga,
papakalala natin ng Pinoy Radio Europe na dahil nasa Europe na tayo.
Pinoy, ayun.
Oo,
Pinoy
hindi,
radio,
Europe na kasi. Hindi, it's exciting kasi
ah,
puntahan natin yung mga lugar-lugar na yan, no? Siguro mga
mm,
tour 1. Ito muna yung mga countries. Di ba ganyan ang mga different tours? Meron silang option
yeah,
1,
yeah,
B,
yeah.
3. Ito, di ba? Dito, maski yung mga
Yeah,
Oxford. Have you tried yung mga local na trips dito sa UK? Yung, ano pangalan ng bus company na yun? Yung first time ko yung iikot ng Cotswolds. Merong,
oh,
kanyari,
I have
ganito.
tried it once, yeah.
Ano pangalan ng
Bromo,
company na yun?
sana,
Bus
Bromo.
company yun eh. May
Yeah,
mga ano yan eh. Kunyari, ito kasama to, ito, wala to, ganyan.
yeah.
Ayan.
Nakakatawa,
Nako,
nakakatawa.
sabi ni
I
Edgar
think
eh,
that's,
set the schedule September of next year. Kita mo naman. No? May
tara,
booking na kagad,
tara na.
sabi niya. Book daw next year, September. Ayan o. Set the schedule on the first week of September next year. Mag-book na ako ng 1 week ba? Kita mo, lahat tayo
Ayan, tara na.
nag-adjust tayo sa schedule
Tara na.
ni Edgar.
Ayaw mo
Autumn
adjust.
yan, autumn, di ba? Autumn yan. Di ba
Ayaw
pasukan yan?
mag-adjust sa schedule niya.
Oo, di ba pasukan
Nakakatawa.
yan? Teka muna, bakit paano na? Dapat summertime. Dapat summertime para masarap pag t-shirt lang, nakalabas ka lang doon. Di ba? Medyo, sa bagay okay din naman eh, yung ganyan, pwede pa naman yung mga first week ng September, di ba? Yung mga tipong end of summer, early autumn, di ba?
Yeah,
No?
that's good.
Ayan.
Ano pa yun na maayos pa yung weather niyan, Mr. Laragan. That's okay.
Oo nga, oo
Also,
nga. September.
Tara na, September next year
Oo nga.
or early. Ayan na, mag-book na kayo lahat ng bakasyon nyo. Ang daming sumama.
Maganda ang Venice. Yeah, okay. Maganda raw ang Venice. Oo, maganda ang Venice. Nakakatuwa sa Venice kasi. Sa Venice, ang pinaka-bus mo yung bangka, no? Yun ang
Bang,
bus mo, eh.
yeah.
Oh, for the
May mga
punta ka next
taxi
stop,
na,
sakay ka.
ang
Oh, yun.
galing, ang
Unlimited
galing.
yung attorney. Unlimited yung sakay mo ron, eh. So you'll get parang a day pass or something yata. Oh, yun ang bus mo ngayon. Pupunta ka dun sa merong isang parang island dun, small island yung pupuntahan mo. Yung gumagawa sila ng mga glass ba? Kaya bumili ako ng glass na, yung mga
Yeah.
parang pinapakita sa sila paano sila gumawa ng mga glassware, yung, blow pa nilang ganun sa
I
ano.
tried that. I tried that sa bath. I tried that yung blow, blow,
Sa bath?
blow
Ah,
ng
okay.
I
Meron ba
tried
sila dyan sa
that sa
bath?
bath. Meron po, meron
Okay,
po.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Maganda,
Nakakatawa.
maganda sa
Yeah.
Bath, no? I love it in Bath as well, no? Tapos napunta ka na sa Roman, pangalan, no? Roman Baths ba yun, di ba?
Mag-bath. Apa. Yeah.
Oo, it's
Yeah.
a Baths, Royal Baths. So, yan. Well,
Nakakatawa.
nako,
And then,
na-travel na tayo kasi itong mga viewers
natawa
natin
na.
from different parts of kasi the UK, no? Wala pa tayong viewer na nagsasabing I am from Bath, no? Pwede, di ba?
Wala pa. Sino ba dyan
Sige.
sa bath?
May may
Raise your hand.
may Czech Republic. Oo nga, yung mga taga-bath dyan, no? Or have you taken a bath, no? So, di ba, watching from Czech Republic, nakakatuwa naman itong mga kaibigan natin,
Ang galing.
Murano Glass, tama. Tama, Murano Glass.
Murano glass.
Ayan.
Murano.
Murano,
Galing.
Murano, Murano Glass. Oo.
God.
Ako,
Galing
nag-enjoy
ni
ako dyan sa
Edgardo.
Venice, yan. Hindi, si Edgardo, mahusay yan. Siya rin na
Galing ni
nagbigay sa atin ng
Edgardo.
information na si
Google.
Mozart. Tama ba? Mozart, no? Mozart, no? Diyan
Mozart.
sa
Yeah.
Salzburg, yan ang birthplace niya. Oo. 'Di ba yan ang
Yeah.
child genius, wonder ng classical music, no? Si Mozart, no?
That's
Oo,
right.
si
Yeah. That's
Wolfgang.
right.
Oh, mabuhay,
Welcome.
Salzburg. And Salzburg is also the the setting of the movie, yung sa Sound of Music. So ginawa
May
ko nang
kanta nga.
nagpunta ako ron, pinanood ko yung Sound of Music. Hindi yung kanta, attorney. Napanood ko yung pelikula, bawat lugar doon pupunta ako, papapicture ako ngayon doon dahil siyempre makikita mo kung ano yung mga ang tag dito, yung mga location shoots ng Sound of Music, andun mismo sa Salzburg.
Yeah.
Kaya maganda. Yan, si Julie Andrews at saka yung ano ba yun, Von Trapp Singers family, di ba?
Yeah.
The
The
Von
Von
Trapp.
Trapp family.
Oo, the
That's
Von
it.
Trapp
Yeah.
family. Yan. Oh. So, ayan.
Classic.
Okay. Well, naku, attorney, baka may ano ka ba? Baka may may shout-outs ka, may additional ka pang, baka nakalimutan mong naalala mo ngayon, no? Na nakalimutan mong ipaalam pa sa ating kababayan, no? Sa ating mga viewers dito sa buong UK at buong mundo ko na, ha? Pero pati
Oh, yeah.
Canada, di ba? Hindi lang tayo pang Europe, pang worldwide pa, no? O, imagine mo yan.
Worldwide ba? Yeah, nakakatuwa. So, I
Di
just
ba? Hindi
want
ka
to
na
say,
pang UK.
yun na
Go,
pang
go,
UK,
go. Sorry, you
pang
were...
ano ba? Pang mura, pang
Oh, pang
I just want to say
UK, pang
thank
Europe.
you. I want to say thank you and I hope everyone's keeping safe. Lalong-lalo na ngayong lockdown and hopefully masamahan natin sila, Mr. Laragan. Just like nung nag-umpisa tayo ng March, di ba? Nag-umpisa tayo lockdown period. So it's all sort of coming back again to how we started. So parang eto na naman tayo kasama nyo ngayong lockdown and we hope to be able to give you hindi lang legal advice kundi everything and anything, travel, trivia, random facts, random
Health, di
figures.
ba? Oh, mga health pa about
Puro,
climbing,
yeah,
hiking, di ba?
yeah, hiking,
Physical din, no?
kwentuhan lang. Yes, para maaliw naman tayo lahat. Kasi sabi mo nga, it's gonna be tougher this time because malamig, it's gloomy, lahat pasensya ata ng lahat ng tao maiksi na sa pandemya na to. So we hope to be able to look after you so that you can also look after yourself and your family na mag happy Tuesday tayo lahat. So keep
Yes.
safe, most importantly. And we'll see you next week. And by the time that we'll see you, we'll be on lockdown week #1. So it'll be
Wow.
very, very interesting. It'll be lockdown week #1 next week.
Oh, well, birthday ng aking very special someone yan, yung Thursday that November 5. It's the
November 5 is
it's the ano yung tag doon, yung ano yan Guy Fawkes Day night ba yan? Kung tawagan, di ba? Yung
yes,
nagsusunog
that's right.
bonfire night.
Remember, 5th of November.
November 5.
Yeah, remember.
Oh,
Wala
November
naman
5. So how can you celebrate now? How can you go eating now? Bawal na ngayon mag-dine in, puro take away. Alam naman mag-take away ka sa Ritz Hotel, di ba? Kailangan nga mag-take away pa, pwede ba? Gusto naman mag-dinner, no?
Malay
Eh.
mo.
Oo, di ba?
Malay
Sa
mo.
bagay, hindi
The
natin alam,
plan of
no?
the
O why,
quartet.
you only have to give it a try, di ba? You only find out if you only give it a try, di ba? Pero yeah,
Actually,
it's well, yung when the lockdown first started in March, di ba? A lot of good memories kasi di ba? These were the times na yung mga, di ba, nakikita natin sa Paris, France, sa Italy, nagkakantahan sa veranda, papalakpakan ng
yeah.
tao, di ba? Kasi bagong-bago pa lang yung pandemic noon eh. Ngayon, tama ka na, siguro pagod
Mm.
na rin tayo dahil imagine mo, lalo na we're going into winter time. Winter time,
That's right.
of all the times, bakit, have you heard of this nga pala, bago tayo magtapos, yung vitamin D daw kasi although, yeah, parang nakakatulong to prevent, di ba, sa mga infection, nakakatulong, di ba? There has been some
Yeah.
studies. Although, syempre,
Yeah.
hindi naman niya gagamutin yung, yung ang tawag dito, COVID, pero nakakatulong to strengthen yung ano, sa infection at saka yung, anong tawag dito, yung pang kontra mo, pang laban mo. Kaya kailangan
Immune
uminom din ho kayo
system.
ng vitamin D. Oo.
Yeah. I
Dito
drink
sa
it. I
mga,
drink it.
why,
May vitamin D po ako. May vitamin D po ako.
yun nga ako,
Yeah.
kabibili ko lang dahil naubos na yata, mukha yata lahat ng tao bibili ng vitamin D, no? Baka hindi ko alam kung baka fake na itong nabili ko. Di ba? Yeah, so, di ba yung vitamin D kasi, baka makatulong. So, sunshine
Tama.
vitamin, saan mo nakukuha yan? Sa araw. Kaya pala,
Correct.
tayo dito sa Europe, ang taas na incidence. France, di ba? Tawag dito, Italy, UK, malamig eh. Pero sa Pilipinas, konti lang nagko-COVID dun eh. Kasi
Oo
mainit,
nga
maaraw
eh.
eh, di ba? Di ba?
That's
So
right.
sunshine vitamin kaya kailangan magpa-araw kayo kasi paano, no? Di ba? Dahil, di ba? Araw 'yan. Vitamin D eh. We have to have some vitamin D
Vitamin
sa
D,
body
yeah.
natin panlaban ng konti. It will not
Exactly.
syempre cure ano, pero at least it will give a magiging defense ninyo sa mga
Exactly.
ganyan, sa mga ano ba, virus ba yan o virus yan, di ba? Hindi naman bacteria, virus yan eh.
Virus. Yeah, virus.
Virus,
Virus
oo.
po. Virus. Virus.
Pero meron
Yeah.
silang
So
virus
tama.
every Tuesday. May
Ano
virus
po?
sila every Tuesday. Yung Legal Advice Corner, virus yan dahil nakakahawa. It's a Tuesday virus. Oh, di ba? At least once a
Hindi
week ang
pala
virus natin.
Tuesday. Good vibes.
Oh, once
Good
a week,
vibes lang.
Tuesday. Oh. May,
So,
may
yeah.
strain yan. May DQ strain. Oh, yan, oh. O may SL strain. Oh, yan, di ba?
Yes,
Oh.
that's right. Yeah.
So,
That's right. Yeah.
ayan. Wait, ano lang tayo, ha? Nagpapasaya lang tayo. Pero, seryoso, ingat-ingat ho kayo. Huwag kayong magpapabaya kung hindi man yung sarili nyong health ang iniintindi nyo sa ibang tao. Meaning, HFS, sabi ni Boris Johnson, hands, remember hands, wash your hands, face, di ba? Yung mask, no? And then maintain your distance. And somehow, that's the only practical way that we can try to avoid the spread of it, no? Tulong-tulong lang ho tayo.
Correct.
Nang sa ganun ho medyo we can go back to normalcy, normal life na nais nating life dati, no? Napakahirap po ngayon. A lot of businesses, it's a balance between saving lives and saving livelihoods, no? Yun ang problema ron eh.
Correct.
Di ba? Hindi mo,
Yeah.
sabi nga nung doctor, chief medical officer, there's never a perfect time to say na we should stop, we should have a lockdown like this time. Wala eh. We play it by ear each day, every week, week in, week out. No, we play it by ear. Kung paano, depende sa studies, sa mga data na dumarating. And you only base your future mo from the data that you've gathered from the past, di ba? Doon mo na lang
Correct.
ibabase, di ba? Yung mga RR na yan, mga rate of infection, ngayon, at least alam na natin, oy, may R, plus 1, o 0.8, anyway, hindi
Yeah.
tayo mathematician. Anyway, Attorney Dana, I'm so happy na nakakausap kita, nakita tayo ulit dito sa it's always a happy Tuesday when you're around, no? And siyempre, you impart to us yung mga legal knowledge, no? Mga legal questions, sinasagot mo yan. At we're so thankful and grateful na andiyan ka. And aside from that, you gave us some pointers pa on other things like hiking and the proper ano ba tawag ito? Isa para sa sapatos o sa paa para hindi masyadong
Ah,
cord ba blisters o di ba?
Blaster, yeah.
Meron tayong
Meron
attire.
tayo niya next week. Yeah, meron tayo. Balik natin yung gear check
Mga
at mga ano next week. Yeah.
gear check,
Babalik
kailangan
natin.
din natin lalo na ngayon
Baka
winter,
magluto
di
na
ba?
naman uli ako. baka magluto,
Yes.
lockdown na naman, baka magluto na naman
Oo
ulit.
nga, meron kang every week, meron kang nakapost na niluluto mo, di ba? Ngayon, inaabang-abangan ng mga kababayan
Lockdown.
natin yan. Sige, let's do it. At
Lockdown,
least
yeah.
one of your, ano, yan, no?
Let's
One of the
do
early things that you've done, no, in your life here in the UK, because you got into this, di ba? Chef, no?
yeah,
So, ayan.
catering,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, nagpaalam ko na ba, attorney? Nagpaalam ko na?
Well, mag-ingat po, sabi ni, ika ni Mr. Laragan, keep safe. The only way to really try and have some sort of normalcy at some point is for us to look after each other. So, ingat-ingat pa rin. And, well, tayo lang din naman ang magtutulungan. So, we're gonna have to choose to be positive as well. So, sa ngalan ng binigay na pangalan ni Edgardo. Happy Tuesday and hope to see you next week again. Maraming salamat po for tuning in. Thank you.
Yan. Well, gaya ng nasabi ni ano, no? Maraming salamat po sa inyo, no? At ingat-ingat po kayo, no? Kita-kita ulit tayo next week, no? Stay healthy and safe, no? Huwag ko kayong magpapabaya, no? Care for the other people as well, no? Kung ayaw nyo sa sarili nyo. Pero syempre, lahat po tayo. We want to live longer. We want to have, lalo na marapit na, Christmas is just around the bend, no? Katatapos lang ng Halloween, no? Ngayon, Christmas time naman. So, it's a family time. Let's sana matapos siya ng December 2 yata, no? And hindi na tayo masyadong magigpit. Para nang sa ganun, ay ma-enjoy naman natin ang Christmas. Yun, Christmas time for getting together, family bonding. Ngayon kasi, magkakaroon ng mga restrictions again, no? Lumuwag na ngayon, maghihigpit ulit. So let's pray and hope and do our part, no? In this effort to stop coronavirus. So kita-kita huli tayo next Tuesday for another edition of Legal Advice Corner. Till then, kami ho ni Attorney Danay nagsasabi, thank you very much. You take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.